As the room fill up, be sure, and I mean just that, be sure to smash upon the like button. The name is Law Nation. Mama said there'll be days just like this. Hey, Cowboys wide receiver room expectations plus running back and more money coming soon to a neighborhood near you. Basically, let me know if you guys can hear audio. Appreciate you. We'll be live on multiple outlets, by the way. We will also be live on the TikTok. Appreciate y'all over there for tuning in to the nation. Let's get it. Come on. Yo. As the room fill up, be sure sharing is caring. Hit that shared icon. Let a person know where to go when they want to tune in to Cowboys sports topic and beyond. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on. Hey, turn it up a little bit more. Come on. All right. Appreciate y'all. One love to you all. Thank everybody for tuning in. Hey, if you checked out the episode from last night, let me know in the chat. I would love to know. Cowboy Nation, we didn't have a good time. We had a great time. And a lot of people were talking about, hey, man, you know, the Cowboys keep moving the goalposts. Cowboy fans keep moving the goalposts on the Eagles, right? That's what LB, he tweeted out today. You know, basically, he was telling everybody, basically, that the Cowboys are making excuses on the reason why I said that if the Eagles didn't get A.J. Brown, right, wouldn't they been able to still have the same outcome, the same season that they had last year with a Jalen Reagor with the Slim Reaper? And he said, I plead the fifth. And then everybody under the comment there was said, look at this dude. He's always trying to move the goalposts. And I'm telling y'all right now that that's not the case, nor the situation, nor the scenario, right? But I can tell you all that's watching here as good as it is for us to watch the Eagles lose, and dare I say that particular Super Bowl, I don't care what they say. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, Michael Lockhart. Appreciate y'all, man. So be sure to go back and rewatch it. I know it's about 5 or 6 hours straight, no commercial break. Well, it was a few commercials in there with the print champs or what have you. Shout out to Louis T, shout out to Bad Dog, and shout out to Lord Bronson for all of us coming together and spitting our mind and talking our mind about the Dallas Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Washington team and the Giants, right? And everybody have their perspectives on it. But at the end of the day, like I said, and I say this again, you can't have selective history. You can't selectively say, well, in 2017, and that's where your history starts. You can't sit back and say, well, the Cowboys haven't done anything since 1996 and you have not caught up. You can't say, well, the Cowboys haven't seen the Super Bowl in HD. Well, with the same breath, we haven't watched our team lose in the Super Bowl in HD, right? So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And I will still stand tall with what I believe in since 1960 until now. The Dallas Cowboys own the NFC East. There's no one that got more wins, no one that got more records as it relates to the Cowboys overall competition aspect of it from the rushing historic data, right? There's no one that you can take away from the actual Super Bowls. So from 1960 to now, we are the kings of the NFC East, and you can't take that away. I graduated from college over 20 years ago. I still got my degree. It doesn't mean that it got lower in value. I graduated from Jackson State in 2006. Doesn't mean that it no longer hold its weight in value, right? for if anything, it gains more value, right? So it's the same thought track of what we're looking at, even with these type of situations when we start talking about talking about our teams, right? So that's just what it is. But there will be people who will try to say, since you graduated in 99, your degree means nothing. You're not working with that. You see what I'm saying? So I'm saying, excuse me, just because it took you over 50-something years or over 60-something years to get your degree doesn't mean that your degree is more valuable now. You know, it's just that you got your degree. Still 2 + 2 is 4. And last I checked, hey, when we start looking at the real number, 2 + 3 is how much? You know what I'm saying? It's 5 and it's more than 1. So we talking about numbers here, right? And from the numbers of it, we are the cream. We are the ones that's on top, and they got stomach muscles in their neck looking up. You let me know if I'm wrong. You know, appreciate you, Sadiq. Thank you so much for the $50 super chat. Says, Law, may God continue to bless you and your family. Caring and sharing. Thank you all for all what you do for the nation. I appreciate you so much. And we are also here live on TikTok. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Valquez, appreciate you on TikTok. I really appreciate you. So I'm trying out something new. I know I'm in black and white on TikTok, so I'm working things out over here. We're trying to build a plane while it's in the air. Thank everybody who tuned in to the show just the other day. Shout out to you, Carlos. Thank you so much for jumping in. True story. Ain't this right? But there's somehow that when we try to use selective history, they take out the fact that we did have some pitfalls. We did have some issues. It is a situation whereas everyone will say there's no excuses. No excuses. But didn't we hear just last night that, yeah, the field was slippery? Oh, yeah, the situation that the quarterback arm was hurt. That's why he couldn't throw the Hail Mary, right? And then we do hear also, and I'm not just picking on Eagles, you know what I'm saying? But since we want to talk about relevancy, they will be the most relevant team out of this particular division if you want to say who been to the Super Bowl lastly, right? You know, Ice Spice is very relevant right now. But that doesn't make her the best R&B. Well, she is a hip hop rapper. That doesn't make her the best. That don't put her above the other ladies, Nicki Minaj and all of those. You know, it doesn't mean that just because she got a relevant album out now, that means that she's high above everyone else. She ain't MC Light either. You know what I'm saying? But y'all get with what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate you, Swain. Thank you for jumping in. So with that being said, let's talk about my guy, CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb been in the news lately on various topics, on whether he's top 5 wide receiver or whether he's top wide receiver as it relates to route combos. Let's listen just a little bit to this top 10 list at wide receiver, and then we'll go back and forth from here. Appreciate you, man. Thank y'all for jumping in. Let's listen to this.
Route runners, and then can you put them in order as the best route runners behind Jerry Jeudy?
I'm going to go Amari Cooper, 1.
Boy.
Devontae Adams, 2.
True.
I'm going to go Diggs at 3.
True.
Okay.
That boy cute.
Keenan Allen at 4.
That boy nice.
I'm going Jets at 5.
Cooper
Cup.
We got 3 left.
I'm going to go CD, Waddle, Tyreek.
Name these 9 route runners.
Well,
and then can you
get out of the way, Blue. All right, so this is what I
name these.
So when we talk about wide receivers in its fullness, there are situations whereas you can be a physical wide receiver that could dominate at the top of your route, use strength, not a lot of separation. It still be a good household name. Brandon Marshall, B. Marshall, he's one of the guys. I think, do he have the record for more than 21 receptions in one game? I think he had the record, right? Is it like 22 that he have? That's not easy to do, right? That's hard. You got different kinds of caliber of wide receivers. You have your route runners, right? You got your guys that can cut on a dime and get upfield. You got your guys that can pretty much find soft spots in the zone all day. You got your guys that can run vertical routes and make a living in the NFL and don't run any routes, right? Look, here it is as a situation, Randy Moss. He didn't have to run many routes in his tree. Send him on a 9, send him on a 7, send him on a seam. You know, he didn't have to run shallows, drags, you know. He didn't have to do reverse. Just send him north. So, and then you had Megatron that can give you some of that busy work that can give you underneath. You had Dez Bryant that was really not a real polished route runner, right? He bended his routes, he's rounded his routes or what have you, but you'll be foolish to press him. You'll be foolish to say, all right, he can't run routes. Let me try to sit down on him, you know, and sick him. No, because you miss, you reach, he teaches. So when you start talking about CeeDee Lamb and his route running capabilities, you know, he's still working on some things. And at the top of his route, he needed to work on that. And we've seen just last season, he became better at that. He was a guy that had to move inside the slot to get separation because he's more quick than fast. He's not that burst Tyreek Hill type of runner, right? But he is a smooth guy, and as soon as he get the ball, then he explode. You got some people that will explode before the catch, and then they do nothing afterwards. So with CeeDee Lamb, when you start to look back at some of his tape, he got wiggle, he got this crazy nuanced feet work that he put into his game, and he's rally, even though he's not a 4-2, 4-3 guy, right? Get caught from behind. You know, I don't think that if I've seen him get caught from behind, by the way. And for his size and his stature, he will lower the shoulders. Shout out to you, David. Shout out to you, Patrick, over there on the TikTok. Appreciate y'all. So when I look at my guy, CeeDee Lamb, and he's putting more and more weapons on his plate on separation at the top of his route, and then on top of that, he's getting, and you can take this only with a spoonful because, we all say that, validation is only good for parking, but sometimes it do feel good to be validated, right? So when we start thinking about this and we start looking at how others are saying, you know what, that dude, he pretty cold over there, y'all. He doing his thing, y'all. And I ain't talking about 21. Can you do something for me? He is flat out doing his thing. And it's always a good vibe, a good feeling when you can get some accolades or some type of token of appreciations from your peers. It don't mean a hill of beans, but sometimes when you look back at it, and when other people can sit back and say, you know what, Matt Batten, him as a mod, man, he does a great job. Scorpio, man, he's a noble guy. Tony Simmons, it doesn't matter what time we go live, he's present. Double R, even though we may disagree with a few things, man, he is always there. Patrice, she's always sharing the content. Those things create value. Those things create appreciation. Those things make them, believe it or not, like Ripley's. Ain't that right, Gina? And Cowboys Prod, I think it's production, 5. That makes you put in an extra work. You may have been tired last night. You may have want to do something else, but you sitting here saying, man, I'm seeing this guy put in extra work. Let me see. Even the book says if someone is willing to walk 1 mile, walk 2 of them with them. Walk twine with them, right? So if I'm giving you guys a little energy, shoot, you guys give me a little back. And that's what's going to happen even with Dangerous Lamb, ladies and gentlemen. He's reading. Now, it's 2 folds to it, right? He could be looking at this and everybody could be talking bad about him, right? Dogging him out. And he said, hey, I got a point to prove. But if you look at it from that slight view of things, then you will be working counterproductive because that person will be living rent-free in your head, right? But if he look at it and say, well, I got to face the man that's in the mirror. I got to challenge the person from within. And then the love and adulations come from without, right? But if he look at it from that aspect, woo, shoot, come on now, baby. Right? If I were to listen to the people to say, man, I can't stand Law Nation, man. You know, why he's always live, you know. You said that word wrong, Law. You didn't pronunciate that word right, you know. You didn't pronounce. You look. Last night I said like Lizzo. I said it wrong. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Lizzos of the world. If I listen to the 1 or the 10%, really it's like 1 or 2%, then we would have stopped a long time ago. We would have got at least to 15 to 20,000. And here's the thing. What I normally see right here, and for those who don't get the reference, just watch the 5-hour episode from last night to get the Lizzo reference, man. My bad on Lizzo. You know, I don't want the Lizzo community to come after me. I didn't know she had that much pull. But what I want to say here is that when you do this type of work, when you do this type of concept, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to say the wrong things, right? But you got to shake it off and continue to go. So when CD Lamb started off last year, right, with the I'm not on the same page with Dak Prescott. Oh, this is my first time stepping out and walking out there on the field for the full season without Amari Cooper. And I can point fingers all day and say, well, it's Dak Prescott for throwing it into this coverage, right? He saw that man coming down from the box, man. He ready to cream me. Pause. He's coming down to hit me, you know? So I'm finna make a business decision, man. I got my limbs to worry about here, right? He could have bought into that. But no, he got better and better as the time went on. So I really appreciate that. You know, yeah, Law Lizzo got the hives too. Yeah, I didn't know. Shoot, I think Lizzo hives is better than Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? Yes, indeed. Keep your head up with a smile. Shout out to you, man. Yeah. Shout out to Beyonce too. You know, shout out to Beyonce. Luckily, I didn't use no Lil Nas X references because I'll be really in trouble this month. You know what I'm saying? Let me get on over to this audio right here. You know, God dog it. I wonder why Law Nation is not on doggone ESPN because I don't fit. You know what I'm saying? And then I like to get out and do my own thing sometimes. You know, shout out to before I play this audio. Shout out to this man right here. Let me see if I got it somewhere. We'll double back. Hold on. Shoot. Shout out to this man right here, Pat McAfee. Reports, and this is just reports. This is not factual as relates to the bottom dollar amount, but it's around this way, allegedly. Pat McAfee signed a 5-year deal worth $85 million. And he's only 35. He's still young. He shouldn't even have gray hair in his head. So he signed an $85 million deal. Was he a kicker or a punt kicker? You know, a punter, I meant to say. Was he a kicker or a punter? Can y'all help a brother out? Can y'all help me out? You know, what was he? He played for the Colts. He played for somebody. Didn't he play for them? He signed. Let me read the comments over here, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Shout out to you, Marcus Coleman. Appreciate you, Escobar. Appreciate you, Four Lashes. Appreciate you on the TikTok. Appreciate you. He was a punter. There's not a punt kicker out here that plays in the National Football League that's going to get a 5-year, $85 million. Can y'all say that with me? $1 million deal. His previous deal was with FanDuel for 4 years, $120 million. Now, I guess that money ran out, so he signed a new one, right? And I don't know whether or not FanDuel, right? I reached out to FanDuel and said, you know what? Hey, man, I'm Law Nation, man. You know, he left you for $120 million to get 85. Y'all can just slide me. Y'all can just slide me. You know, I ain't going to sell myself short. but I'm gonna sell it short for right now. Y'all can slide me by $2 million. I'll do that show on FanDuel. I'll have everybody signing up for FanDuel. It'll be FanDuel all night. This segment is brought to you by FanDuel. You know, so for $120 million, shoot, give me $2 million, FanDuel. We'll work out a deal. Come on, man, come on. Hook Law, y'all reach out to FanDuel. All of y'all that's watching, all three of y'all that's watching over here. You know. And y'all tell FanDuel, hey man, you know, you was giving Pat McAfee $120 million. Can you at least give Law Nation about 20? You know what I'm saying? We'll start at 20. You know, come on, man. Shoot, y'all. If y'all see what I'm doing over here with a butter knife and a slinky, what you think I would do with $120 million, man? Boy, shoot, we'll have stuff falling out of the sky. Law Nation be running over here with Dak Prescott. Said, hey, Dak Prescott, throw another interception. Want you lean forward a little bit? Hey, man, hey, Tony Pollard, man, come on, man. I got a cousin named Tony. You related? You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, I got this barbecue joint over here, Tony. Let's talk about this. Devontae Turpin, man, what you thinking about, man, running into a 49er kicker? You know, so we will be talking all type of good stuff, man. Don't y'all hear that? You know, Cole Cowboys said Law get endorsed with fanatics. Yeah. the Cowboys fanatics, appreciate y'all. You know, they probably sitting there like, man, if this dude was able to do this by himself, shoot, yeah, they need to realize and recognize, sure. But shout out to Pat McAfee, man, for getting that bag, man. And that's why I would tell people, it's never too late to start. Go get that money, y'all. Go get that bag. And also, put it like this. There are people watching this podcast right now. They got more skill set and talent than me and Pat McAfee combined in his whole panel. But the only thing that's stopping them is themselves. They want everything to be perfect, man. Start off with a cell phone, man. Stop looking for collaborations all the time. Get your own opinion out there and have dedication, discipline, and consistency. You have those things, all of that talent that you got over there, there's people right now put me to shame, watching me, doing everything. It's in the like, and want to know how I know? I started this YouTube page in 2013. Y'all can look it up. My first post wasn't until 2016. I'm telling y'all from experience. I'm sitting here watching everybody on YouTube. You know, of course, I had different things at my job level at that time, and I couldn't go live. But, man, I was sitting there watching, and then it just hit me. Man, I could be doing this, man. Shoot. Can y'all imagine if I'd have started 3 years ago, you know? We would have been at 1 million by now, you know? So I'm just trying to motivate y'all before I play this audio. But those are the truths. Ain't that right, Matt Batten? Shout out to you, Eric. He says, FanDuel, appreciate you on the Facebook. Yes, indeed. Let's go. Consistency is the key.
Cowboys join the movement. This is Reed Hansen, Cowboys Wire. His premise is that personnel, play calls, they're more geared towards the passing game than ever. The Niners and the Eagles are zigging while the league is zagging to get some win probabilities in there. I think the Cowboys have been zigging since 2014 with Tony Romo and the great offensive line they put together, and DeMarco Murray running for like 1,800 yards. They've been doing it, and they haven't
TikTok,
really
can y'all hear audio?
much from it. They just recently stopped being efficient at running the ball in the second half of the seasons. But they're, correct me if I'm wrong, Chief, they're still amongst the most runningest
fast
teams
forward
in the
a little
NFL,
bit,
right?
Yes.
So they're trying.
They are running the ball quite a bit, especially on first and second down, which is an obvious run down. That's part of been their problem. Is it seems like the defenses know when they're going to run the ball. It's very obvious. First and second down, Kellen Moore love to run the ball, and they're not really creative in the way they go about doing it either. It's not like, okay, everybody knows Kyle Shanahan is going to run the ball here, but he does it in a way that is like, oh, the defense doesn't know how to stop it. There's 6 yards.
Yeah. Crap, where's he going? Who's running it now?
There's some nuance to the way he runs the ball. It's not
Right.
just turn around and hand it off and hope that your guys are better. Like that worked with Jason Garrett when you had the best offensive line in the league. But now you're not drafting first-round linemen year in, year out.
Brian, we got confirmation it's pouring in Capel and Denton right now.
Oh, there you go.
No.
Okay.
My bad, man. This 105.3 The Fan. Appreciate everybody, man. Thank them. I should have fast forwarded to the topic there. But Brian brought us, they're going to go over this article about the running game, and I'm going to give you guys some feedback off of it. But be sure to check out my guys, 105.3 The Fan. And I was going to pick on them when I hit 105, but now I'm at 106. So shout out to 106 in Law. Instead of 106 in Park, it's 106 in Law. So appreciate y'all, man, for helping me get to 106. Let's listen to them.
There you go.
Now, what do you think about the Cowboys' approach to running? Because I don't think it's the volume. I think it's the efficiency that we're more concerned with.
I'm just always interested of how you're able to get into your running game. And to me, if you talk about what they did drafting Schoonmaker, I think that helps you at the point of attack.
Right.
I'm looking for creativity. Like I say, when people know that you're going to run the ball, the thing that Kyle Shanahan does that's unique is he plays with one of the best blocking fullbacks we've ever seen.
All right, so before we get into Kyle Shanahan, and I'm not finna throw any shade again at Kellen Moore. I went over this last night. We talked about this last night about Kellen Moore. To me, y'all can feel however y'all feel, but to me, I feel that Kellen Moore is a very intellectual guy. He's a smart guy. But that doesn't mean that it's going to translate to results. My daughter is a very smart girl, right? All A's on her report card, by the way. So, Daddy had to take her out real good to the Little Mermaid and do a whole bunch of good stuff for her results. But just because she's smart on that level doesn't mean that she know advanced algebra, trigonometry. You know what I'm saying? She's going to the second grade, for crying out loud. So you can be smart in your own way, but there's still things that you still have to develop and learn, ladies and gentlemen. There's no shortcuts to success, and the Cowboys been hooked on this. They've been so fascinated by this. Hey, we're going to take a guy that got potentials and we're going to elevate them before their time so that we can sit back and look like geniuses, right? That's just what it is right now. And we've been, as fans, we loyal. Man, look, there's not another loyal fan base as loyal as us. We are DC for life, for real, for real. Matter of fact, my next merch, I'm going to put DC for life, FR, for real, because that's who we are. We're not folding up. We're not running away because, see, that's what the other teams and people and their fan base want to say, right? They want to throw in the fact that we've been 27 years and counting like we're going to turn away from this team. Like we're going to, look, we had David Campo here for 3 years, 5-11, 5-11, 5-11. We had Sir Clap-A-Lot for 13 years. And we were still selling out stadiums, still having hope, promises, and everything else. Because we are the true definition of a real diehard fans, right? We're not going anywhere. To the point and to the degree we get on to Stephen A. Smith, everlasting nerve. Which every time I go back sometimes and I replay that video of him crying over his Knicks, and I say, yeah, that knife cut both ways, don't it? So that's what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. We are the real, true diehard fans. Let me know, for those who are watching right now in the chat, let me know, have you turned your back on this team? Ever? Although, man, they give us some times where we thought about it, but shoot, some of them have never even slipped their minds. They really dedicated, disciplined, and consistent. But that's just how it goes. There's a group of people, man, in the good book, man, they were wandering in the desert for 40 years. You know what I'm saying? And they did. Some of them started worshiping other things, but shoot, those who stayed faithful, they made it, right? They had every reason to turn their back. They're like, man, we were wandering in 40 years, man. But they knew And I'm not saying it's going to take us 40 years, by the way. You know what I'm saying? I'll be dog, even if I have to go out there and lace them up, it ain't going to take us 40 years, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all, man. Hey, when y'all hear that sound, that is the sound of someone becoming a new member over there on my TikTok, and I appreciate you all on the TikTok. Shout out to you, Jonathan. Shout out to you, Sadiq. Appreciate you. She's live on my TikTok, man. Oh, Sadiq, stay right there. Stay right there. Stay right there on TikTok right quick. Look, watch I do this. Watch I do this. What? Hold on. Y'all bear with me. Y'all bear with me before I play audio again. Bam. She's now a mod on my TikTok too. So Sadiq, she's everywhere.
With
like me.
Juszczyk. His ability to play on the move and to have guys like Kittle and Williams, this offensive line, and the way that they get after you, that's when running the ball, to me, that if you have those types of players, but I think the creativity of it, putting wide receivers in the backfield and letting them be a part of the running game.
Yeah.
Not just the jet sweeps and stuff like that, but using fullbacks, using tight ends, using guys in motion and able to attack the point of attack and create opportunities.
What do you guys think it was the main reason they were so poor at running the ball last year? Was it because too many carries for Zeke, Kellen Moore bad play calls, or poor offensive line?
I think that they weren't me personally, that's why I just said what I said. I think they were really bad at the point of attack.
Yes.
All right. For those who are, I'm on Rumble too, Scorpio, man. Y'all name a place, man. I'm there, man. I'm telling y'all, man. I got a MySpace account, man. I'm everywhere. Just got to figure out how to get rid of all of those bugs on MySpace, man. We'll be live right now on MySpace. Yes, indeed. But I want to say this though. With the run game, I'm going to ask you guys a question, and it's going to be yes or no. Were the Dallas Cowboys a top 10 rushing team last season? Can you give me a yes or no? Yes, indeed. Matt Banter said MySpace. Yes, indeed, man. I'm on Fanbase, too. I'm just trying to work with the creators there, man. They need some more space areas. All right. Scorpio says yes, right? All you got to do is say yes. Isaac says yes. Brian Luna says hell no. But what if I told you all that the Cowboys finished, I think, number 6 in total rushing? We were right outside of top 5 in rushing last year. And I would tell you, for us to be able to be listed there, and we didn't even have a plan, it's like literally you having a Shaquille O'Neal on your team, and you don't even know how to utilize them. You sitting there using Shaq on the perimeter to shoot the 3. And then you look at the stat sheet and say, man, he's been dominating and crashing inside the board. On top of that, ladies and gentlemen, 4 out of the 5 guys on the offensive line moved around like musical chairs. There's only one guy who stayed solid like a tree planted near the water, and that was Zach Martin. Everybody else was moving around on the offensive line. So what I'm saying here is just like what I brought up on the round table last night, the NFC East round table. We the only team in the West, and we dominate the East because we all some beasts. You write that down because those are bars, baby. So when we start thinking about that, ladies and gentlemen, can you imagine if we had a plan and an approach, a solidified attack? Some people would miss the meat worrying about the potatoes. I asked those boys on the round table last night, and they was breaking down everything. And I said, technically, objectively speaking, are the Cowboys better than what they were last season? And each one of them, you can go around, it's 4 or 5 hours long video. And every one of those boys uttered yes. You see, we can look at it and say, yeah, that's fly in the milk. We can talk about that. Pour the whole milk out, right? And we finally did that. Or you can drink it with the fly. It depending on the level of hunger you are in. But we are not fools anymore. We know that Kellen Moore was the fly in the milk. We pour that whole drink out, y'all. And I know I'm country as all get out, and people going to say, man, I'm going to write that analogy down, man. Shoot, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Shoot, I'm going to be using that. Don't be the fly in the milk law. But what I'm saying here is collectively, we are better than what we were last year. Ain't that something? And I had all of those guys to fall right into my hands when I made that statement there. Let's listen to more what they have to say. Now, granted, just because you're better doesn't mean you get better results, right? So these boys got a all off season, recalculate, recalibrate, and get back onto it. Let's go.
With their personnel, I don't think Schultz, I don't think Ferguson, I don't think Hendershot. They even went to the point of using offensive linemen in the backfield to try and do that. I think, if the Cowboys are really going to get good at running the football again, it's going to have to be because of Schoonmaker and Steele and those guys being back in the lineup.
That's a big reason I think they drafted Schoonmaker.
Yeah. And I don't want to be disrespectful to a legend like Zeke, but taking him out has to give you a better chance of a much higher YPA, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, and as you were talking about this, I just looked up, which backs had the most rushing attempts last year, and then teams. So Zeke still had the 10th most rushing attempts in the NFL last year, which is egregious. When it comes to which team ran the ball the most, the Cowboys were 5th in the NFL. Yeah. And what's interesting is out of the top 8, the majority are enhanced because they also have running quarterbacks. Like the Bears are 2nd, the Eagles are 3rd. You've got the Ravens and Giants at 6th and 7th, right behind the Cowboys, and all those teams have quarterbacks that are going to run.
Yeah, nice. They're going to run the ball with their quarterback, and that number right there, if you move that number off, then a lot of things can shake differently as it relates to like total run yards or what have you. And the league is coming around more and more of having these quarterbacks to be able to scramble, right? Yeah, I foresee in the future that's going to be mandatory, that your quarterback got to have wheels on his legs to get outside of the pocket. And there will be more of this spread offense and more of the college-style offense over here on the NFL side. But one thing that will still remain the truth is down in the trenches, right? You can get fancy all day. You can get fancy all you want. Matter of fact, you can pay your quarterback $500 million deal, right? But if they can't run the ball, that quarterback will not win the Super Bowl, right? A la the Kansas City Chiefs, right? So it's still a game of possession and running the rock. Now, hopefully, when we go into this season, we got Tony Pollard, right? We got Rojo, who we're going to go into battle with everyone, and he's the underdog. We got Malik Davis, Rico Didal, Deuce Vaughn, Hunter Lupke. Cream shall rise to the top. And if we can go back and use 3 running backs, shoo. And to be fair to Ezekiel, Elijah, Elliott, all of those runs, when we said that there were no plan of action, we ran out of shotgun, pass block win rate, 32nd or 31st in the National Football League, and we run out of that? That don't make sense, right? That's the fly that's in the milk, right? There's somebody right now, man, so hungry for that attention, they'll still shake that milk around and say, all right, that fly right there, let me just, drink the fly wing and all, you know what I'm saying? But no, we ain't finna do that. Get that fly up out of there completely. Let's just throw the whole thing away. And that's what the Cowboys did. Doug Nussmeier was holding on by the threads. He said, like, oh, you gonna get rid of me? But what I'm saying here is let's not cast aspersions on Ezekiel Elliott. I'm quite sure if Zeke went to the Ravens, maybe, just maybe the Niners, we'll be talking about, damn, man, that's not even fair, man. They got Debo, they got Zeke, they got Christian McCaffrey, right now. We'll be having a fit right now, right? Right? And don't let them go to even the Eagles with that offensive line and the running quarterback, and I'm not throwing any shade at him, by the way. And on top of that, you still have Kenneth Gainwell, right? They can put him in probably more favorable situations. But it's still a big reservation because you really don't know who's their offensive coordinator philosophy. New fish.
7-2 Niners are just play action all day. I think that's huge. I think subtlety, I think nuance, I think horizontal spread, and giving the defense as much to think about before and then immediately after the snap is huge. And if you don't trust your players to execute that vision, you need different players. Mm-hmm. I need smarter players. I need tougher players. I need more versatile players. But we're not going to go away from play action. It's just too devastating and how it sets up big plays in the passing game. There's undeniable numbers on it. And if your quarterback wants...
Hey, before he go into details of this, let me say this. I appreciate y'all. Can y'all do me a huge favor? Can you tell the like button to lean forward and hit that like button for me, and sharing is caring. If you live on the Facebook, can you do me a huge favor? I know I missed you guys yesterday. Much love to you all. Can you guys do me a huge favor? If we still live over there, hit the like, share this content. Or we can go, man. It's up to y'all, man. I appreciate you. Shout out to you, Brandon. Shout out to you, Jonathan Thompson, over there on the TikTok, man. If y'all can do me a huge favor, look me up on TikTok. We're live there. I'm in black and white on TikTok, and it's a different type of viewership over there, but I really appreciate you guys. We still have comments on the screen there, and we're growing the TikTok. I appreciate y'all for getting me close to 20K over there. Let's continue to grind. I'm never going to stop, right? And we're going to continue to go. You know what I'm saying? Even from the heavens, Laudation just sitting there talking to Peter and Paul, talking about, come on, Cowboys, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Me kicking it with Tom Landry and everyone, you know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna never stop. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Y'all continue to help this channel grow, baby. TJ, appreciate you. Thank you for joining. Sadiq, appreciate you for handling the TikTok over there. Let's listen to more.
To give you toot about it or whatever, I'm just going to put that in the okay, we're not doing another contract with you, a pile. But I do think the move away from Kellen Moore is big, because if you don't have the offensive lineman or the fullback or the H-back or the tight end that can whoop somebody at the point of attack, it's not your job to keep running those plays. No. It's your job to fool the defense and to think that's what we're doing and we're escaping out the back end or something like that, and going about it a different way. And he didn't problem solve.
Well, it also helps for a team like San Francisco. Not only are they good at point of attack, but they've got a guy that with McAfee, the way they run the ball, his vision, ability to make cuts,
but you got a really good one in Tony Pollard.
No, absolutely. To me, if you're going to be successful like the 49ers, the creativity, it's about the personnel too, to me.
I agree.
This is a team.
Ryan Broaders, appreciate you, man. I know it's in your DNA to say that. But what I'm going to say in my DNA is that we were able to see, man, the 49ers the year before, was it Christian McCaffrey? About to say Mike McCaffrey. But Christian McCaffrey. They were still running the ball. They're still running the ball with that. What was that running back over there? They were still able to run the ball. They still put Debo Samuels in favorable situations. So when you have the ability to have knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the game, you are able to put people in favorable situations. Law, do you have any truth to that? Well, what if I told you that Shanahan and Sean McVay, both of those boys who are considered top-tier coaches, were at some point of time, they started off at Washington, right? Who remember? Can I get show of hands of that? So when I was telling people last night that sometimes you got to go through growing pains, there's no shortcuts to it. And I asked Louis about the last 4 times that we did that episode together, the marathon shows. I said, what would you give to get Sean McVay back in the house now, right? He said, shoot, I'll give everything. What would you give to get even Kyle Shanahan to run your team over there. Man, I'll think about giving up everything, right? It takes time. But the Cowboys, our beloved Cowboys, shout out to you, TJ, over there on the TikTok. Appreciate you, Sadiq, for holding it down. Our beloved Cowboys love to have shortcuts to the success. JC, appreciate you for your support, man. Y'all be sure to check out my guy, JC. He don't do a good job. He do a great job, and I really appreciate him. He's saying, showing love to our guy. Law from me and Jazz, appreciate everything you do, my brother. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you as well, Jazz. I appreciate y'all. Y'all got good vibes over there. Keep going, and everything is possible.
The kid that they brought from North Dakota State for the
Hunter Lepke.
Lepke. Okay, can Hunter Lepke turn into a potential Kyle Juszczyk type of a player? Can he be a guy that can not only play in front or offset or Juszczyk plays as a tight end. He plays as a wing. He plays as a fullback. See, that gives you a lot of flexibility. Teams are like, well, okay, they're lining up in the eye. Oh, they're going to run the ball. Oh, they're offset. They're going to run the ball. They move him to the wing, and they move him places. They don't give you the look like they're going to run the football.
Agree with everything.
And then they do. They put a wide receiver in the backfield and hand him the damn ball.
Right, and it's all the disguise, right? And also, how
it's the deception.
Yes, it's the movement. And that's how we've always talked about this with the Shanahan and McVay offense and those trees, and we talk about the pre-snap motion, right? It's keeping the defender's eyes moving, the deception. You're not sure who's getting the football here,
right?
And they do it very, very well. The play design was lacking from Kellen Moore.
There we go, and that's what we've been all saying. And I'm not trying to bring up old stuff. So what we hope to bring is that Schottenheimer, he will have the same language, right, and the same background of Mike McCarthy. And at this time, Mike McCarthy is still the play caller, believe it or not. So you guys remember whoever installed it, call it. The craziest thing is we talked about the information on that, and that came from a place of frustrations. I promise you probably won't hear that echoed again. Whoever installed it, call it, right? Because now they are on the same page. It's something about being in the same room with someone, right? It's something about being in a union with someone. Old folks say this all the time. Let's make sure we're singing from the same hymnal, right? Meaning that we are singing from the same book. Lift every voice is on the same page. So when I say let's sing, lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven rings, right? Now we are all on the same page. And for those who don't know, they can turn to that page 182. You know what I'm saying? So now we're on the same page, singing from the same hymnal, right? So now we are on the same note. And finally, we should be able to see that. Now, granted, hear me out, because I got to preference my statement so it won't be any goofy moments over here, so it won't be any. Ain't this right, bad boy? Shout out to you over there on the TikTok. So it won't be any goofy moments over here. If we are seeing the same issues for the 2023 season that we seen in 2022 season, then I will resolve Kellen Moore. I will literally say, you know what? I was wrong on him, and I'm not afraid to eat some crow over here live like 95, right? And say, man, you know what? It was Randy Prescott. It was Big Mike McCarthy, right? He will get his true share of the blame. Let's listen to more what they have to say.
Bring a wide receiver into the backfield.
Shout out to you, Jay Wade.
Cornerback potentially into the box to have to make plays, to tackle. That you do not want your cornerbacks in the box having to make plays. And that's deception.
The 903 San Francisco was much better than Dallas. I can't fight you too hard on that. They definitely played better both days. I think it's not a matter of being better. It's just matching up so incredibly well. Like the Niners are the Cowboys' kryptonite, and that's why they're trying to get tougher along the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and they got a coaching staff that offensively, the Cowboys have a coaching staff defensively that puts their players in the great position to succeed.
Right.
And Kyle Shanahan,
You match up well with
That's
them.
why that seemed to
defensively.
offset. But where they have the biggest advantage is Cowboys offense versus 49ers defense. They've had no answer.
right, because the Cowboys haven't had anybody off it. Like put Kyle Juszczyk in a Cowboy uniform. He ain't the same Kyle Juszczyk.
True.
So much credit goes to Juszczyk for being that guy. He's the one executing it. But Kyle Shanahan is putting in a position offensively that I don't think any other play caller, play designer in the sport would do. So that's where, like, I think the biggest, we always think about the players on the field, and there is part of that, but we keep going back to, like, the Cowboys year in, year out have a great roster. They have a really good roster. There's holes in every one, but when you stack them up side by side, the Cowboys are usually one of the better rosters in the league. So what's different about you and the other teams?
Right.
Well, the teams that are really succeeding at the highest level, like a team like the 49ers, have a coaching staff that are really putting their guys in positions to succeed, and you know that's the real deal because when you finally got a coach that can do it for your defense, look what happened to it. But we haven't had that offensively. I mean, tell me when.
No, agree with the coaching, but I will say those are probably the teams that they've fallen off to are the teams that do have the better rosters. The 49ers roster's better, right?
All right, so let's go over this, ladies and gentlemen. I really appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. Shout out to y'all that's over here. I'm still guinea pigging over here on the TikTok pages, and I really appreciate you guys. Give me a thumbs up if you guys like the overlay on TikTok. We worked on that last night. Robert Burton, appreciate you. TJ, thank you for jumping in, and as well as Louis T, man, appreciate you if he's there live on the TikTok, man. All right, so it goes back to this saying right here. Just because you got the best knife set in the drawer, right, doesn't mean that it can make the omelet, right? Doesn't mean that just because you got all of the pots and pans that supposed to be all of this good stuff for you, right? Top state-of-the-art stuff. If you don't know how to cook, you just still don't know how to cook. You just got better utensils on not knowing how to cook. And I'm saying this over and over again because it's the same thing over and over again about the truth. And nobody wants to hear this. Cowboy, appreciate you. He says, why wasn't Pollard named captain like Zeke was? Well, Pollard was the best player on the team, but Zeke was the best player for the team. Yeah, I feel you on that. I'm not finna dive into team captains like that on that because we know that one time they had the long snapper as the team captain, right? They had the punt kicker. And I believe how it was told to us that Big Mike liked to rotate the team captains, right? It could be from his observation from practice. But let's not get it twisted. Ezekiel Elliott was the fastest running back in NFL history to get 10,000 collective scrimmage yards, right? So that is something that we all have to adhere to. It's not like Ezekiel Elliott with chopped liver. On top of that, he had to go through some undue harsh penalties from Roger Goodell for shanking him in the back with a real knife, not even a butter knife, in 2017. So if you add those 6 games that he missed out on, shoot, who knows what could have happened? We went 9-7. So I get it. Zeke brought a lot to the table, right? He may not speak like with an authority out there to the media because he's very mumble speaking, you know what I'm saying? And, he kind of sounds lethargic or what have you. But people dive into his workout regimen when he's working out, right? And people dive into his levels of expertise out there on the field. Excuse me. So he was a real good guy for the locker room, right? I just hate that the way the NFL took all of the good stuff away from Ezekiel Elliott. I hate that, with a passion. I mean, come on. I mean, the dude, you can't find a mugshot of the man, right? And they railroaded him, right? I mean, he never looked the same since then. He grew his hair all out. He used to be a clean-cut, shaved guy. Well, he had to steal the beard, but it was groomed beard. But he started looking like Neanderthal Zeke, after that situation. But, let's – and then, for the past 2 seasons, he was a casualty of injuries, right? And I know all of this sounds like excuses. I know somebody saying like, Law, he's washed up, Law. He's over with, Law. Well, he's no longer on this team, and we will see what the other guys can do.
The Eagles roster's better.
I don't know that the Niners roster was that much better. I think if you switch offensive coaching staffs, I think the Cowboys win the game.
Maybe. I don't know that you look across the board and thought you're talking about the skill players, right? The offensive talent. They lose Tony Pollard, they can't do anything. You got a Debo, you got a Brandon Ayuk, you got George Kittle, you got Juszczyk. I think the 49ers roster was substantially better, Eric.
I understand that, but you still have coaches putting their guys in positions to succeed.
Agreed.
Right.
I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, but I do think the personnel matters, and that specific team had a better roster than yours.
The personnel definitely matters. There's no question about that. But there's also Brandon Ayuk. Like, you talking about Brandon Ayuk like he's just what is Brandon Ayuk?
He would have been.
I mean, he is better. Now, I ain't trying to say this, but, shout out to Noah Brown. May he do a wonderful job in Houston land. And shout out to Eastside Harold. That's his guy now. But can I say it, y'all? No disrespect to Noah Brown. But Brandon Ayuk is better, man. Come on, man. Come on, y'all, man. Who would you rather have, Brandon Ayuk or Noah Brown? Come on, man. And speaking of that, man, you know what? My guy, Big Game James, he don't hold back nothing, man. Big Game James, he called it out. And Big Game James is the type of guy that you'll be rolling with, rocking with, and you be like, man, come on, man, can you have a little positivity? I'm talking about he's like that in real life, man. You know what I'm saying? But he's going to call it how it is. He ain't finna sugarcoat nothing. He is not finna wee-woo nothing for you, He's the doctor that look you in the eye and say, hey, in order for you to live a little longer, you got to get below your BMI. You got to stop eating X, Y, and Z. You got to stay away from the sugar. I need for you to lose about 20 pounds, right, to get back in health. You know what I'm saying? Good health status, right? He's like that guy. He's like the chef. That chef to do all the crazy good cooking stuff. I forgot his name. Y'all know his name. Y'all can put it in the chat. And he's like that big doctor. He's like that doctor on My 600-Pound, wife or something like that. That show that's on TLC. That doctor will hold out that clipboard and he would say, you're 1,000 pounds. In order for me to perform this surgery, you're going to have to lose 300 pounds. You too big. And that is who Big Game James is. He going to deliver the facts regardless of whether or not you like it or not. Ramsey is his name. What's his first name? Chef Ramsey, right? He's like Chef Ramsey. Chef Ramsey just crazy, though. Chef Ramsey would see that. He'll see that food and he'll go, no, this is the wrong food. This is the wrong food. And he'll start throwing stuff around. He'll start throwing stuff around. It's the wrong food. I'm like, dog, chill a little bit, man. It's just an omelet, Gordon Ramsay. That's who Big Game James is, literally. And he was talking to Joe Tran. And we were like, hold on, Big Game James. Hey, man, let's not jump on him too quickly. And let's listen to some of that audio from my guy, Big Game James.
This is what I got to say for my guy, Joe. We haven't seen
Look at James' face.
Noah Brown, who he is.
True.
Experienced wide receiver.
True that.
No one got more experience than Noah Brown, and he had the big toe injury. He didn't get a chance to play in preseason. So, week 1, who's your lineup?
Group CD Lamb, Noah Brown.
Can I jump in here right quick? If we starting with Noah Brown, I don't feel good at all.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you right now. I don't care what they've been telling me. I'm going to jump in here right now. I don't care what they done told me about Noah Brown. I done seen him 4 or 5 years.
Look at his face.
Noah Brown is what he is. Noah Brown is not going to have some crazy year. Noah Brown is not going to do something crazy. No, he's not.
No, it's not.
Okay, I don't want to see Noah Brown in the starting line is not doing Dak service. I feel like they're not doing Dak the right service. You got to give your great quarterback weapons. And I feel like they're throwing them in there like, make it work.
This is what I got.
Hey, man, Big A James, it was even more realer when we was live there because he literally told Joe, get out the way, Joe, man. You ain't finna give me this wee-woo stuff. No, and let me tell you something about Noah Brown. I done seen this dude in Ohio State. You know, he was going off. I'm sitting like, God, no, Big A James. Hey, Joe Tran literally, he went across the street to Cowboys, concrete Cowboys. Let me give me a drink, man. This dude for real, man. He had the blazer on there. Let me get out of this blazer jacket and give me a drink, man. That doggone Big Game James. Hey, me and Boss Cowboy, we were sitting like, yeah, James, but hold on, James, let the man say something, man. And the whole time, the man over here, Joe, was like this, man. You know, oh man, all right, man. Hey, man. Let's listen to more. You know, some of these people, they can do a lot of good stuff behind the mic. But I'm telling you, it's a whole different vibe when you're out there in the elements. And Big Game James is the same person that's on camera, off camera, you know. And hey, I still want to play him on some pickup basketball because he swear he can take it to the rack and everything. So, you know, we will find out on all of that next time we meet up, man. We go play some pickup basketball. You know, we'll play. Who gonna be on my team? Y'all let me know in the chat.
Number 2 receiver opposite CD Lamb last year, and you would have loved to have him in that game.
That is true. I would have.
Oh, so it's my 600 pounds life. Appreciate you, Dr. Aquarium. You know, he said Dr. Now is his name. Yeah, my 600-pound life. Look, you're going to have to lose 300 pounds before we can give you the surgery. And the people be having boxes of oodles and noodles, 4 boxes of pizza, 3 boxes of Krispy Kreme donuts. And have you ever noticed on all of those my 600-pound life, they ain't single. You see what I'm saying? So if you skinny and single, you may have to get big. You know what I'm saying? Because they always got somebody to wash their back and everything. I'm sitting there like, that takes some dedication. I was talking about earlier, dedication, discipline, and consistency. Well, to lift up some meat and take the sponge to get all up under there and start washing off, and like it was a car wash, they pull out a water hose and everything, and they get to shooting them down with some water, man. I was sitting there like, that takes dedication. That takes consistency. That takes a good deed of discipline, man, to do all of that. You know, I hope Law, they finna counsel you right now. Law, you better hush your mouth, man. You better hush your mouth.
Love to have had him in that game. And after the Tony Pollard injury, there was certainly a lack of weapons there, but there was also a coach that didn't understand how to he was still running Zeke out there. He couldn't even put Malik Davis out there.
Yes.
You had some coaching malpractice that I think has been more of an issue for you over the last 20 plus years than it has been the personnel. The personnel has been overarching pretty good. And we're so hyper analyzed on this team, so we're like, oh, I wish this was better about the roster. I wish this was better about the roster. But again, stack them up against the 32, and it's a top 5 roster pretty much year in, year out. But it's never a top 5 coaching staff, particularly offensively, since Dan Quinn has been here.
What I remember about Brandon Ayuk in that game, I think he had 2 catches and both of them were for first downs. See, that's the thing about it. San Francisco, they get the absolute max out of every one of their players.
Yeah.
You can't always say that about the Cowboys.
He's not Debo, but he fits their system well.
That's fine. Yeah. And you got the fastest guy on the field in Turpin, and you can't even get him on it.
No,
because you don't know how to use him.
No,
you think Turpin's not playing an offensive snap with Kyle Shanahan? He's going to figure out a way to get him involved.
No, I totally agree with you. And I think that's why I think that's one of the reasons why I asked you guys earlier, why did Kellen Moore lose his job?
Hey, I was also moving on from Kellen Moore, but you are looking at and nitpicking the little things when you get down to the Final Four in your conference. You are looking at how is this roster constructed and the talent constructed as well. I think both are relevant when you're talking specifically Cowboys and 49ers. It's the coaching. Agree with you 100%, but the Cowboys also weren't as talented either.
All right, so, and let me say this, too. It's not like the Niners blew us out, right? And we can point fingers and say, basically, I mean, if Dak Prescott didn't throw those 2 interceptions, I know where y'all going with that. Even with Noah Brown, we had enough talent, right? I get all of that. But when you get to this level, talent matters. The margins of error is very thin. You can't have mistakes like you had in the last 2 visits, regardless of it, right? Even when Jimmy Garoppolo in 2021, he was trying to give us the ball, right? Anthony Brown caught the INT, and all my guy had to do, Randy Gregory, is go out of bounds, man. He got in the way and made Anthony Brown slow down. I'm not saying that Anthony Brown was the reason why we lost that game, by the way, but in every situation, you got to give your playmakers the ball, and you got to come up with a precise plan. When we, in the 90s, I know I'm going all the way back, almost over 30 years ago, but hear me out. You know what I'm saying? People still talk about other things that happened many a moons ago, but hear me out. We all knew that Emmett was going to eat in the playoffs. To this day, he got 19 total touchdowns, and there's no one to eclipse that from a running back perspective. That's a lot of touchdowns, y'all. We knew Emmett was going to get that ball. Why? Because there are less chances of him running the ball, of getting an interception, right? He wasn't a high fumble guy, right? And by the time they realized where he was at, he's 6 yards down the field. You know, he's 5'8", but he crawled down to like 5'4"-ish, right? You know, that's how small he would get and explode up out of there, right? They're like, oh, there he go. Well, it's 7 yards down the field untouched. And then as soon as you get there, shoo, he had Big Moose to drop some shoulder love on you, right? Coaching wins every time. Yes, indeed, J all day. Appreciate you. Shout out to you again, Sadiq. Shout out to you, Jonathan. On the TikTok, he's #1 leaderboard over there. Marcus Coleman, he's second place. Appreciate you on the leaderboard over there. Thank y'all, man, so much on the TikTok. But let's listen to the last piece of that.
See what Mike McCarthy can do to optimize this thing. But his track record does not suggest it'll be the kind of creativity. You're hoping that a schematic shift can make things overall more easy to execute and therefore be more efficient.
You hope that the year that Brian Schottenheimer was working with Dan Quinn evaluating other teams' offenses, maybe will rub off on him in a way and some carryover to creativity for your offense.
And a lot of the text.
No. My guy says, D-Ship said, y'all see Law with the white outline on the edges, man. I mean, the barber got to hit it right. You know what I'm saying? Measure twice, cut once over there, man. Yeah, she did put the liner on there, man. You know, shout out to her, man. She does a great job of cutting the hair. But, yeah, and I want to wash the white lining off. You know what I'm saying? I want to wash it off, but it'll mess up the flow. So I'm going to go a whole day with it like that on there, man. You know what I'm saying? Maybe tomorrow the white line go away. But for today, you know, I might have to get photo ready around this. You know, I ain't going to give away too many secrets. You know, Holly says drop the barber name. Bull Sugar, you know. No, man, that line be longer than Shaq feet already. I'm greedy.
Just hoping that just taking Zeke out of the rotation for so many carries should have a positive impact as well. But the premise is it's easier to run than ever. And the Cowboys really made a mess out of it last year. NFL.com is named an all-breakout team. They've put Tyler Smith there at left tackle. I could see it, but I don't know. I think he was pretty good already, and I think his hands and his holds from college, you know, that's not elite makeup to me. So I think Tyler Smith has exceeded my expectations already. But if I'm looking for a breakout, I'm going to Sam Williams.
Let's go with it. All right, so before we open up the phone lines, shout out to Fresh King over there, top leaderboard over there. Appreciate you, man. You can jump right on in at the top dog over there. So I'm going to give you a top dog bark over here on the TikTok till you don't stop. I'm going to come up with a name with TikTok people, man. But Law TikTok over there, man. I'm telling y'all, I'm everywhere, man. And shout out to him. Appreciate him, what he do for the nation. Appreciate you, Fresh King 36, man. Appreciate you. let's talk about this. We finna have some money, y'all. We about to have some money, and the money is coming around the corner. Here we go. Shout out to Phil Yates. He said 6 teams are picking up the cap space this Friday. So it ain't, look, I don't know about you all, but there's nothing like getting paid on a Friday. And your bills are already paid for, right? Now, the Cowboys, they finna have some money, but our bills are not paid for, right? But you can still spread this out. You can either A, sign Terrence Steele, B, re-up my guy Trayvon Diggs, C, go ahead and take care of C, Dangerous Lamb, D, extend Dak Prescott, get more and more money, right? You extend Dak Prescott, it will give you more remunerations. Or you can slide with this 10.9 million, which is close to 11 mil, and roll with what you got right now, and you don't have to entertain D-Hop, right? You don't have to entertain no one. You can literally sit back and then just with your $11 million and make it look pretty, just sit back and watch it. How do you guys feel about it? Which one of those A, B, C, D's that you want to do? You know, this year's bill is paid for. This for my guy Sam Jordan. You can't look at it this way, you know. You can't look at it that way. But you got future payments that's coming around, right? And you can get in front of your payments by going ahead. Oh, and I forgot, I left out Tony Pollard, right? You can really work on a contract with him. Technically, we want to go ahead and see what he can do. Unfortunately, right, since he's going to get the $10 million up front anyhow, right? Then you revisit that back right then and there. Shout out to you, Josh. Appreciate you, Brock, man. Appreciate you, Sadiq, for the roses. I thank you. Thank you so much on the TikTok. Sit on the money. This is from Verde. Appreciate you from the Facebook side. If you sit on the money, it'll be a little cushion, and that is the safe, dangerous way. That is the safe, dangerous way. What do you mean, Law? Well, safely, if we are good where we are at right now and do no extra additives to this team, meaning that you will allow Dak Prescott to roll out his entire year, and then you will be faced with the $59 million cap hit for next year, right? And then you can work on, he'll be entering into his final contract, and you'll have one more lump sum to go through, and then from there, you can move on from Dak Prescott, right? For those who want to do that. And I know some people will not like me saying that, right? I'm just being objective with my reasonings here. Put the butter knife down. What dangerous that can happen, Dak Prescott goes out here and light this thing up. That bag is going to do this. And then that is you betting against the man, and for him to ultimately put it back to you, right? Because if I'm a betting man, last season we was 12-5. Now, granted, some of those games came from four out of the 5 games came from Cooper Rush, but collectively we were 12-5 with a Noah Brown. And I'm not using Noah Brown as a whooping bag. You know what I'm saying? I'm just using him for context. Or we can throw out James Washington. How much better would we be if you had more talent, right? Or now that we got Brandon Cooks, and now that we have a Michael Gallup that's removed from a year of ACL situation. Around this time, ladies and gentlemen, he wasn't out there at OTAs. Contextualize that. He wasn't out there practicing with the Cowboys. He wasn't moving around like he is now. So just like the board last night, my guy Louis T, LB, and as well as Bad Dog, they said, man, shoot, your wide receiver core is better. Well, that's going to translate to better numbers. Better numbers normally translate to better results. My guy Aqua, extend Dak, pay Diggs, and CD. Yeah, that'll be the gearing up to getting ready for the other bill that's due. And his name is Michael Parsons, right? That's gearing up. Appreciate you, Black Lion. Appreciate you, man. CD will break the team record this season. Man, we all banking on it, man. Yes, indeed. Appreciate you for your support. Shout out to you, TJ. Appreciate you, Keon 135. Thank you for joining. All right. So what we like to do at this time is to talk also. I almost forgot about this topic right here. Y'all see this list right here? This is their top 10 DBs list. And what I see from it, we got two guys in the top 10. Now, they got Sauce Gardner up there. They got Jalen Ramsey. They got Darius Slay. I can tell y'all, Patrick Surtain, Zaire Alexander. They got Stephon Gilmore, Marshawn Lattimore, Kenny Lattimore. I'm just playing with y'all. And you got Marshawn Lattimore, and they got Trayvon Diggs. J.C. Horn is right below that. I know you guys can't see it. Let me see if I can fix it up for y'all so y'all can see it. Or unless you can see it this way. Let's see if y'all can see it this way. Okay, good. Top 10 CBs in the NFL. Let me say this before we open up the phone lines. Dayron Bland had just of a good season as Sauce Gardner. Oh, Law, you see, man, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Tariq Woolen, I like what he brings to the table. He had just of a good a season as Sauce Gardner, right? You know.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog.
Hey, man, wait a minute.
Come on, man.
What I like Sauce. But I think it's too soon to say he is the flat-out best DB or the cornerback in the NFL. I'm just saying it's just really too soon right now. You know what I'm saying? And Jalen Ramsey, is this on potentials? Because last season, Jalen Ramsey, I don't think, in my opinion, he was better than Trayvon Diggs last season. You know? So I know people gonna be like,
bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
I'm just saying, man. Can I tell the truth, man? Y'all want me to lie to kick it to y'all, man. You know, I don't think that he was better. You know, and we've been live for an hour. You know, and I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Shout out to the 7 Diamonds, man, for y'all sending me over there on TikTok. Appreciate y'all. Shout out to y'all, man. Patrick Surtain, that's my guy. But Darius Slay, we seen Slay get slayed, man. Come on, man. Come on, where you at, Boosie? Where you at? Come on, Boosie.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Zaire Alexander. I'm going to keep Patrick Surtain up there. You know, Pat was good. Zaire Alexander. The doggone Green Bay might have won. But for dog, that battle between CD Lamb and Zaire Alexander, come on, man.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Now, Marshawn Lattimore, he's still my dog, man. I think he need to be moved up on this list. J.C. Horn, he's pretty solid right there at 9. And Jamil Dean, I can see him being there. But I heard that Tampa Bay, I thought that they had nobody on defense. I thought Tampa Bay was trash. You know what I'm saying? I thought that Tampa Bay wasn't any good, man, in the playoffs. But that's a whole nother story. I still see 2 guys that's in the top 10 that's from the Cowboys land. That's all I'm going to say on that. But it is what it is, Cowboy Nation. Let's open up the phone lines for your mind. Come on.
Call my phone. super thumb my way on this side. Keep it super thumb my way on this side. Call my phone, hit my line. Only ones who down for real, down for life.
There are 4 participants in the conference.
Keep it super
Please announce yourself.
Mobbing with my brothers, there's no question, keep it real. Whether we East Coastin' or we in the hidden hills. In the poppin' straps of blue faces, not the pills.
Lee Cowboy from the 469, you're live, fam.
What's up, man? And you're right. You're right. Bland should have got it, but you already know they felt like he didn't have enough body work.
Yeah, it was enough. And then it's 2 different spots, man. He played inside the slot, even though slot two-way goes. And Sauce, he went up against number 1. So I'm not taking away from Sauce. I like his game. I ain't gonna sit here and placate that I don't. But I think it's still a little too soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I mean, X and Z are some of the hardest spots to guard.
Oh, yeah.
That's the best when you got a speedy.
Yep.
So, I mean, Bland, he did it all,
Yep.
But I'm a big fan of Mukwamo as well. So if he can just stop holding.
Is he when he got hit with a hold though? I think that he's been pretty good.
Thankfully.
Yeah. Okay. I see. I think you going all the way for like last year, right? Year before last. Okay.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Year before last, he was drafted, right?
Mm-hmm.
He looked good the year before last. I was like, who is number 38? Then finally, last year, he changed the number, and so I was like, okay, this is who I was looking at.
It's like Kevin Joseph. Like, let me get that 24 back. You know what I'm saying? Because Kevin Joseph, his rookie year, those tail end games, we saw some. Hey, there's promise there, right? And we thought that he was going to turn the corner in a positive way, and then the field stuff happened. And tonight, I hope that they clarify that they'll be live at 9:00 Central Time. West Coast will be doing an interview with him, so we hope, and I'll jump in, but we hope that it'll be a good situation.
Man,
for him to explain it.
And speaking on that, I'm not trying to be mean, but because of that, I kind of don't want him on the team. I don't want the bad juju behind that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't mention karma, but that's how I feel, man.
No doubt.
No doubt. What it is. But yeah, I felt like Bland, he got snubbed, but it's all right.
No doubt, man. All right, man. I appreciate you for calling in, fam.
For sure.
No doubt. Good call from Lee Cowboys. So you guys are saying that the audio is low from the caller. Dang, I don't know if I can fix that. On the TikTok, shout out to you, Sadiq. On the TikTok, can y'all hear the caller at all? We still building the play while it's in the air over here. Shout out to you, TJ, again. Appreciate y'all sharing is caring. Thank y'all so much for doing what y'all do. Yeah. Y'all heard it? Okay, good. Appreciate y'all. All right, I got my guy from the 757. Banks, you're live.
Law was good, man.
It is your world, man.
As far as that list, man, I like it where it's at.
Oh, you like it where it's at? Well, can they at least put Tyreek Woolen in there, man?
I would move Jaire Alexander down, man. He was not better than Diaz. I'll move him down. I'll put Diaz over Marshawn too, Lattimore. As far as that too. I'll put him above both of them, man. But Jaire Alexander, I never being better than Diaz, I kind of feel like he's been overhyped in my opinion.
Man.
I remember Coop used to kill him. You remember Coop used to kill him?
Yeah, Coop killed him. Yeah, in that game. But Zaire Alexander, to be fair, 5 targets, 1 catch for 15 yards on Jay Jetta, right? He's like the kryptonite to Jay Jetta. He shut him down. And then he put the gritty on him.
I gotta give him that. Yeah, he did. I gotta give him that. He stepped up that game. Yeah. But that's pretty much what I got about that list. But as far as the money, man, let's get the money. I like it.
Let's get the money.
Our guys probably just to sit on it. No D-Hop. We know that's not happening, man. We like our guys. They say that all the time. So if that's the case, we would have drafted a wide receiver.
Yeah,
and, I think we good, man. Because more people we want to add talent and be greedy, but I think it's you know, it's all about how you use the talent you got. And I think we talented enough, especially at the receiving position, man. I think Gallup would be back to form. You know, coming off an injury, people tend to forget how he was. So I think we're good to go in that department, man. Just pretty much this year, I just wanted to utilize all our talent, man. And I was beating on the desk last year, man, the whole season, man, of why Kellen Moore wasn't utilizing our talent. Why
Right.
he couldn't get these guys going. Like I say, even back to the playoff game with, like I said, when Pollard went out and not put Malik Davis in.
Right.
Like, how do you do that, or how do you not do that? Like, you know what I'm saying? So,
Don't you know the reason why? Don't you know the reason why we never had back-to-back losses last season? Is because we do make the adjustments. After a loss, we put up 30 points. I think we averaged right at 30 points after the loss because I think that here, and I'm not throwing any shade at him, but I am a little bit. We had the same issues with the previous administration. You see, Jason Garrett he'll make the adjustments, but it'll be the next game, right? It'll be the down over like the next game. Then we overemphasize on X, Y, and Z, right? We were like, hey man, now you want to go forward on inches, you know?
Listen,
talk to me,
I'm
man.
gonna tell you what. That's that Scott Linehan in him. We forgot that was that was like his son.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He was like Scott Linehan's son. Because you want to go back, you remember how we used to get on Scott Linehan about not being creative.
Right.
I want to go back to that very.
Man, you getting good, man. But I lost you, man. We couldn't hear anything you were saying, man. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now better. Yeah, I can hear you now better, man. Talk to me.
I said, look, you remember when they tried to do the wide receiver by committee before they here? And you remember we went to that game against Jacksonville at home, man, and we blew Jacksonville out?
Yeah.
And we were seeing plays coming from everywhere. But then it's like the next few games, like, where all that play calling go? Where did the creative plays go? And,
Man.
you know, that's how it was with him.
That's how it was,
I
man.
think it's him coming from that tree, man.
Yeah.
So, but, you know, hopefully get better, man. That's all I got, man.
Man, appreciate you,
look,
Banks. Go ahead.
As far as that pickup game thing, hey,
You
man,
got me.
I think I might have to go with Big Game James, man.
Oh yeah, Big Game James, nice on the
I never
on the
seen
court
him
though.
in person.
Yeah.
I never seen him in person, man, but he looked kind of long, Paul.
Yeah. He got me by a couple of inches, man. He got me by a couple of inches, but man, but my shot deadly though. He gonna have to get up on the shot. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But appreciate you, Banks, man.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
All right, now.
Yes, indeed. Good call from him. Yeah. The whole point of what I'm trying to say here is that we just never, we didn't have the identity. Who were the Dallas Cowboys? How did we try to win? Were we trying to throw it around? Were we trying to run and dominate? Were we a power team, power I team? So it's not levels of excuses, but these are the realities of it, that we would show you 14 personnel. We would give you a 13 personnel to never see it again. And he just mentioned, you remember that Jacksonville game whiles back, right? We were doing all of those nuances, and then all of a sudden it goes away, right? So hopefully we just be known by the characters of guys that we have now that's calling the plays, that everything will be consistent. Shout out to my guy, Christopher 214 from the 469. What's on your mind?
What's up, Law?
Nothing to it, man. Holla at me.
Hey, man, I would like to say that cornerback list, I feel like, just like you said, that Woolen kid, I believe he's like 6'4", ran a 4.3. I think he had like 5 picks.
I think he had 6 of them. He had 6 of them, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, 6 picks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, honestly, Jalen Ramsey, he's not a top 10 guy. Like, I really think he's just on that list because of fame and what he's done in the past.
Yeah.
If you look at the tape, he's not playing like a top 10 guy. He's still good. Don't get me wrong, but I really think that he's living off his days over there in Jacksonville.
Them old bodies,
like,
man.
Honestly.
Yeah, them old receipts count, man. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah. So I was gonna say this right here. With the contracts and how Diggs and stuff is looking, I would say right now we all know how they hit on Diggs. I mean, Diggs could he could step on a ladybug and they'll have something to say about it.
Oh yeah.
I honestly feel like the worst case for us is next year we don't sign him, and all of a sudden, when that star, if it comes off of his helmet, oh man, y'all lost Diggs. Y'all lost y'all best corner. I'm like, hold on, like y'all just hating on this man. Like y'all couldn't wait for this man to give up a touchdown or a first down, but now that star is not on his helmet. They're going to find a way to flip the script and be like, oh, man, y'all lost y'all a good one. And now y'all stuck with Stephon Gilmore. He's old. He's slow.
Yeah.
Now, all of a sudden, Gilmore, he's old and slow just because he got that star on his helmet. They kill me. Like,
yeah, they known for doing that, man. It's only been 2 wide receivers that once they left the Cowboys, they said, all right, they had pretty productive seasons, right? One was just recently out of Amari Cooper. The other one was Cole Beasley, right? And Cole Beasley still referenced that he had his best career here in Dallas. So, I mean, sometimes, man, people overinflate, what's going on. Remember Randall Cobb? He was like, okay, he's washed, he's trash. Then he got here, oh man, he was really good. Then he left. Watch what he's gonna be even better. Then he went back to being Randall Cobb. You ever notice that?
Yep.
It's crazy,
and hey, you remember this kid here? It was back. I think it was back when Romo. I think it was
Laurent Robinson.
I think his last name. Robinson.
Yeah, Robinson. Man, yeah, Laurent. Yeah.
I think he went to Jacksonville, and we ain't heard nothing else about that kid.
Man,
I think he went to Jacksonville.
Sure, he got like a $22 or $25 million contract at the time, or something like that. Stretched out of so many years. I was like, shoot, man, go get that bag, dog.
That's last year.
Yeah, he disappeared, man. Houdini, that thing. I appreciate you for calling in, Chief.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You have a good one.
Yes, indeed. That's my guy, Chris, man. Always bring in great energy, man, to the table, man. I got Flying Above the Rest, and I got Brandon, and then I got D Shift. So Flying Above the Rest, you're live.
What's going on with it, man?
Man, all is well, man. Can't complain. Talk to me, man.
Already. Man, I want to talk about the money.
Money!
More specific, you should. And I want to talk about the fact of, now, in your opinion, would you like for the Cowboys to do Dak Prescott contract first or CeeDee Lamb contract first?
I mean, it's like, do you pay for the car or the house note? You know what I'm saying? So
I know, but here's the reason why I asked that question. Because obviously, the mortgage is what you pay first. You get that part. But here's where my curiosity comes in. I'm curious to see on else maybe the Cowboys, like we said, they ain't never been all in on that. They've always making that cougar. Do you think it's possible that they're seriously have behind closed doors talking about moving on from that after this season?
I mean, that is a possibility if they don't go ahead and extend them, right? There'll be them trying to be so smart. And just like Dak said, it can happen any night. You know what I'm saying? When the deal can go through. So if I was the money, man, I would go ahead and extend him. That would give me a lot of resources, a lot of money, and I would put that money towards CeeDee Lamb, Diggs. There'll be enough money to pay Terrence Steele, as well as Micah Parsons. And then we got another $10 million in the cutty, But I appreciate you, man. I get a lot of back noise, man, but I appreciate you, fam.
Got you, no problem.
No doubt, man. That's my guy Flying Above the Rest, man. And that's just what it is. I would literally do those things. Let me know what y'all would do in the chat. Like, I get it. You can literally gamble a little bit and say, all right, let me just let Dak Prescott go into this year, prove it, Dak. Let's see what you can do now, man. And then if he don't, get us to let's say a benchmark. NFL, Super Bowl, because the Super Bowl a buzz, right? I don't think that we'll be satisfied for going to the championship game to lose, because there will still be people saying that, hey, man, come on, So I think it's Super Bowl or bust. That's how it is every year with the Cowboys, right? And I don't want to hear people say, hey, man, we can go to the championship game to lose and we still give good praises and thoughts to that. Well, let me know how that worked out for Danny White, I meant to say. Let me know how that worked out for him, right? So let's get the next caller on. D Shift from the 409. What's on your mind?
Hey, man, good job, man. Helen boys. Man, you was in God mode last night, Law.
I appreciate it, man. They thought I was going to lay it up, man. I can't even. Yeah!
Every little thing, they want to come at you, man. And you broke them down on killing. And once you start talking about the nuances, they couldn't respond, man. They was sounding like the 4-letter networks over there, bro. But yeah, man, but that's crazy, man. Your boy Sam Williams got as many sacks as Kayvon Thibodeau. I ain't gonna tell Bad Dog all that.
Right.
I ain't gonna tell him that, man. But I think Sauce Gardner. I think I was looking at his completion percentage. What people complete against him was like 53.3.
Yeah. And
Deron Bland's was respectively, I think like 71.4.
Right.
So Deron, he playing against that third. I think we don't want to give him too much, because they want to accuse you of being a homer too much, Law. So
yeah,
we'll let Sauce have that, man. We'll let him have that.
Well, I'm not for sure not gonna put Deron Bland at 1, right? But when you were saying what my argument was, like he's good now. Sauce is good, but he ain't that. Like Tyreek Woolen could at least been on that list. If Deron ain't there, at least Tyreek up there, man.
Yeah, man. And I mean, as far as Zeke's concerned, man, what do you have, like 12 touchdowns?
Yep.
So Zeke's goal line touchdowns, we ain't gonna count them, right? He's still a bad running back, but Jalen Hurts gets to use them 13 touchdowns.
That was my point last night too, man. Oh my.
I mean, you see, I broke it. As soon as y'all started talking about that, man, I got on the YouTube. I went on, while I think Louis T put that break in, man, I found a video of all Jalen's big plays, and I counted.
Right.
And like I told y'all, man, it was 9 touchdowns from inside the 5,
right,
and 2 more from inside the 10. He only had 2 touchdowns around the 20. So it's not like he was Mike Vick in that thing from Mike Vick that had that big touchdown in that overtime game against the Vikings.
True.
So he wasn't doing nothing like that, man. And so if anything, my feelings on Jalen Hurts is he better start buying Rolexes, houses, Lamborghinis for his offensive line and the rest of that team, man, because I love how they're giving him all the credit. In my opinion, I mean, he has that has a potential to do with you remember how the Seahawks players start coming out and basically start throwing Russell Wilson under the bus?
Yep.
Because he was getting all the credit and he dating Sierra, and he just living all the life, and then once that whole team disbanded from him, he became mortal again,
It was one by one. That was like a slug with salt on his back, the whole thing with Russell, and all they had to do was just do a Jalen Hurts play, run it in, and they would have won a Super Bowl. Would have been back to back Super Bowl.
To it.
Yeah, I think it would have been 2 out of the 3, man. That defense, man, that team was phenomenal, and it was sad that they tried to political that thing, and you got beast mode on the team, man. Just put the ball in the belly. Here's the craziest thing, though. The quarterback will still get all of the love, If he still get all the love, because people don't mention beast mode that much. They still say Russell. So
I just think guys like Bad Dog and LB and Louis T for that. I think they cover too much content to sit up there and just to fall in love with these quarterbacks like that. I think that's where you kind of differ yourself, is that you're not afraid to say that Dak's not the best quarterback in the league.
Right.
You keep it in perspective, but you know that we can win with that. And that's just kind of the extremes that they play. They too much on they're too excessive with their quarterbacks, and they leave us too much at a deficit with ours, man.
Right.
And like Aristotle said, man, you got to find that mean, man. You can't live life excessively, but you can't put yourself at a deficit either, and that's where you find fallacies in people's arguments and whatever philosophy they're trying to preach, man. Because I mean, off the Saquon thing, I mean, Saquon was hot for like the first 10 games. You go look at all the 100-yard games, and after that, he fell off. And once he fell off, the Giants lost 4 out of 7 and tied a game. So they went as far as Saquon went, and so for Bad Dog to be just that much on Daniel Jones and not really analyze what happened with his team, you live in a lie,
man. But the one that gets me is my guy Louis T, man. Sam Howell, man.
Bro,
11 for 19, man. 11 for 19, 150 some yards against the Cowboys. Quarterback QBR was like 46 something, and he was 1 for 1, right? 1 touchdown, 1 INT, and he's supposed to be.
He got hats, bro. He got hats. And so for him, like, and then Heineke, and then for him to sit up there and tell a bold-faced lie talking about, I was truthful about Fitzpatrick. You said that all your team won a division with a losing record, and he said all you needed was comparable quarterback play, and that's what Fitzpatrick was going to bring. That's what he said.
Yeah.
Go look up the receipt.
Right.
And, they just weren't keeping it real, Law. So, I mean, everybody ain't built like Law Nation, bro.
Man, I appreciate it, man.
And then and they'll be to just go ahead with those. I mean, because as soon as you try to discount his 22 throwing touchdowns, but he had 13 touchdowns.
Right.
But, I mean, he just stole food from Gainwell on the board.
That Rex Grossman comp really got him though. They got that 13-3 Rex Grossman year.
You got him, Law, man.
Appreciate you,
man. Have a good day, bro. And I'm just shout out to you, 100K. You the realest out here, man.
I appreciate you, man.
You put everybody on, and like they say, you the tide that makes all the boats
rise, man. I appreciate that, man.
That's you, bro. That's you, man. Salute, bro.
Appreciate a good call from him, man. Oh my goodness, man. Look, there's no doubt in my mind that back in was it 03 or 04, Donovan McNabb was more athletic than Tom Brady, right? They had the powerhouse team, right? There's no doubt in my mind that the Eagles could have won that Super Bowl. I think they only lost by 2 or 3 points, even in that Super Bowl. But it's just the ideology that it's hard to get back there, right? And then for them to ultimately win it in 2017, at that time, we didn't want Tom Brady to win another one, and we for dog sure didn't want the Eagles to win another one. So it was like, win their first one, but it was like pick your poison. Not saying that any of you guys were rooting for the Eagles in that game. But man, oh man, even that game, the ball had to bounce a certain way for them to win. I'm not discounting that from them. Shout out to them for winning that Super Bowl. But the coaches that was on that staff, I don't believe that they're still there, right? I think that they went and got everything else gone from there. And last season in that Super Bowl, they were up by 10. I had my brother call me, man. He wouldn't let me off, man. He was like, hey, man, fly, Eagles, fly. You know what I'm saying? If I call him now and I sing that same song, he's going to get mad. I got a brother that's that's an Eagles fan. You need to be a Cowboy fan, by the way. But, I can't make that stuff up, man. That dude literally fumbled the ball. Ain't nobody touched him. Shout out to him. He did reclaim himself. But when Smitty, when they talked about, shout out to you, Lane. Thank you for jumping in on the TikTok. But when Smitty said, point to me where it hurts, and he pointed to Jalen Hurts, pretty much fumble, I was like, yeah, dog, it's going to be hard to get out of there. You know what I'm saying? But if anyone is built to erase that from their mental mindset, will be Jalen Hurts. And I can't wait to see him do it again this season. Prove it again, but because for dog sure, we'll be watching and waiting. I got from the 815, Brandon, you're live.
What's up, Law?
What's good with you, Brandon? What's so funny, man? I ain't say nothing yet, man. Come on, man. Talk to me, man.
Yeah. Cause it's so like y'all just be making up stuff, like just be making up truth. Like, look,
what's make up truth? What did I lie or what did I make up? What did I make up, man? Talk to me, man. What I made up?
Not you particular.
Okay.
The last caller was like, Lord, that's the truth about Dak. That is like that's stretching it. That's
Wait a minute. What you mean? What you mean? Talk to me, man. Talk to me. What false hopes did I say about Rain Dakota Prescott? Talk to me, man. Go ahead. Why you?
So this is like my third off-season calling in to the show, and I
Right.
love doing it because
Right.
it gives me a great laugh sometimes.
Okay.
And I'm old enough to remember Law was saying Dak was a top 7 quarterback. So miss me with the Law was telling.
Wait a minute. So he's not a top 10. He's not a top 7 quarterback.
Hold on. I got one more.
Go ahead.
I got one more before you go.
No. Go ahead.
Then he used to say he used to try to compare Dak to Patrick Mahomes, but he had to stop that. Go ahead, Law.
Wait a minute. So when Dak put up, what was it, 40 touchdowns? Or was it, how many touchdowns he put up that year? You know, it was a 38, 39 or something like that with 10 interceptions, something like that. Those numbers were not comparable. Those numbers wasn't up there with the top quarterbacks. So we supposed to take those numbers away and say that he never did it?
No. See, you're not gonna do that.
Yeah, well, come on. I just did it.
That's not what I said. No, that's not what I said. I said Law was trying to say that Dak Prescott was as good as Patrick Mahomes. You used to do that.
Is he? Is he just as good as Patrick Mahomes? Is he or is he not? Man. Talk to me. Why is he not? Why is he not?
I don't think Dak Prescott is as good as Patrick Mahomes was. The last game of his rookie season, which was his first game starting. I don't think Dak is that good. Okay. Do you want me to stick on this, or you want me to stick to this? Because I do got a few other points, but
Well, shoot your point and then go to the other point. But I at least allow me to rebuttal. Yeah, 37-10. My bad, Brian. Brian Bradford, he said 37-10. Do we count the running back? Do we count the running touchdowns, or do we get away with the running touchdown? So he was 37-10. How many rushing touchdowns did he have too? Since we want to count those, man. I'm just trying. Just help me out. You know.
We definitely can count the rushing touchdowns. I'm not one of those people say, don't count rushing touchdowns. Look,
okay.
Count the rushing touchdown. My only point to that was like, Law does call Dak out sometimes, but he'll quickly, like Sunday he'll be like, Dak did this, and Monday morning he'll put a real nice video where Dak actually played a really good game.
He did.
I'm faithful to Law, so I know what he do. I'm not one of these people who just call in like, I like what Law said. No, I watch.
All right, man. So I get what you said, man. So what was the other what was the other brilliant points that you have today?
Whoa, boy, it is brilliant. But all I'm saying is about the money, because we have to talk about this money thing.
Yep.
Because it leads to that conversation that you was having about the top corners and this and that. That Ron Bland had a good season, but let's pump the brakes. He did have a good season. Trevon Diggs, I wouldn't take any cornerback over Trevon Diggs. But why we haven't paid him yet? I wouldn't take no receiver over CD Lamb. But why we haven't paid them? So guys, we gonna pay 3 of the 4.
Okay.
Michael Parsons, CD, Trevon Diggs, Dak Prescott. One of them will not get paid. To me, which leads to my final point. We have to win with defense. Go all in on defense. That's our bread and butter. That's what we're going to need to win the Super Bowl this year, because we will win the Super Bowl this year. Fact.
There you go, man. Hey, man, and I got a Prescott jersey for you too, man, when we win that Super Bowl. Hey, but let me say this to you as well, Brandon. You know, shit, man. Let me say this, man. You know what a conundrum is, man? You know,
it's like a predicament, like a problem.
it's a circular one, right? It's regardless of what it is, it's going to be that. Right. So don't you know the gateway to pay Diggs, to pay Lamb, to pay Terrence Steele, to pay Michael Parsons? No, don't you know who the gateway of doing that?
I know what you're about to say, Law, but you got to let me rebut it. But I know your answer is extend that. I know that.
Extinction.
I know that's what you're saying the answer is.
That's the answer. You can have it all right now at its lowest rate, plus $10 million, close to $11 million in the kitty right now. If they just extend Dak Prescott right now and go ahead and pay up those contracts, we won't even be having this conversation. That's big trust.
But this my last point. I know you got to go.
Uh-huh.
Like seriously, Law, like seriously, I'm talking about really ask yourself this question and be for real. What if they already made the decision about that? What if they already said, whatever happens this year, we're going to accept it, but we're going to move on? I don't think you Dak fans have opened yourself up to that reality. How about them Cowboys? I love Law Nation Sports. He's about to go to training camp. Let's get him there. Go shout out to the nation. Shout out to life.
No doubt, man. That's Brandon, man. Oh my gosh, man. Woo! And Brandon got a heart of a warrior, man. He's on the Twitter. He'll jump on the TikTok, I believe. He'll jump on Instagram, but he'll jump on Facebook. So to spit his mind about the Cowboys and about Dak Prescott. If there's anybody that or shall I say, when we win that Super Bowl, I'll be thinking of the joyous moments, but I'll also have a spot in my mind for Brandon of thinking about what size jersey he would like to wear. You know what I'm saying? For the rest of his natural life. You know? And I don't care if it's about 1 point, 20 points, 40 points. Man, I'm going to talk so much Donkey Kong stuff, man, about that. But appreciate him so much. I got the 817. You're live.
The conference has been locked.
Hey, what's up, Lau?
Nothing to it, man.
Hey,
Talk
man,
to me, man.
I've been waiting to get on this show for a minute. Hey, that's what's up. Hey, first of all, I want to say we're going 17-0 this year. I don't care. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. You know,
okay.
Whenever I was a kid, whenever I was a kid, I used to pour, the Kool-Aid packs.
Yep.
In the water, in a little pitcher of water.
Yep.
And then I used to grab the sugar jar. I used to pour that mug in just with scoops. You know them ladles and big scoops?
Yeah.
And just keep on pouring. And everybody was like, damn, how you made this Kool-Aid?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then I'll be the one, I'll be right there with the big smile. I made the Kool-Aid.
You made the Kool-Aid, yeah.
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm making the Kool-Aid and I'm drinking it, man. We're going 17-0. I believe it, and then we're going to win the bowl, too. We're going to get our bye after the 6th week. Then we're going to get our bye that first round. That playoff, we're gonna have it off, and we're gonna go to the. I'm telling you, we're gonna tear stuff up. Hey, look, I feel like we should go grab DeAndre Hopkins to make this happen. You know, McCarthy. Look, man, he done had teams in Green Bay,
right,
where he just had a plethora of wide receivers. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he know what to do. You know, whenever you new to something, and you got this brilliant mind,
right.
You feel like you could take over the game.
Yeah.
And that's what Kellen Moore was. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? But McCarthy been in the game. He been in the game for a minute, so he saw that and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna give Youngin a chance. I'm gonna give him a chance and see what he do. And because I feel like he felt like he deserved that at least. But once he seen, he done came in time. He knew he done got tore up and made a fool out of himself. And now he done had to pack his bags and go. Okay, that's over with. All right, now McCarthy, he know the game.
Right.
He see what we got on offense and on defense. He know Dak is after a Super Bowl. I mean, and to the last guy, the last caller, come on, man, I'm right there with you, Law. I feel like Dak is up there with Patrick Mahomes. Like, I don't care who go against that. Yeah, I feel like he up there with Patrick Mahomes, man.
I mean, it is what it is, man. Pat Mahomes say, hey, man, he take pieces of Dak Prescott game to help elevate his game. But I know I almost sound like a homer, what have you, but I get all of that. But we will find out, man, this year, man, we're going to have a true coach out there. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I don't see us going 17-0, but I want your vision. I want your dream. You know what I'm saying? And if you can dream it, man, if Dr. Martin Luther King can have a dream, and so as you can have a dream. And if that happened, man, forget the jersey that I was going to give to my guy Brandon, man. I'm going to moonwalk off of that, and I give it to you. I give it to you. I think everybody give you a jersey in the chat, man. If we go 17-0 and win the Super Bowl, you know, I think Dak would give you a jersey himself, you know. We got you, man. You know, let's go.
Hey, I got one last thing to say.
Yeah.
What number is Diggs on that list?
He is 8.
Okay, 8. Oh, man. Hey, look. Okay, I don't know if the earth is flat or round. There's a big debate going on about it right now everywhere. But, you know, 75% of earth is covered in water, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the rest of it is covered by Trevon Diggs, man.
Oh, my goodness, man. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. That's a good one. Yes, indeed. Yeah, all right, bro. Yes, indeed. Diggs covering 3/4 of the world over here, man. I love it, man. I love it. All right, so we got we got a whole bunch. We got Coach Marv, we got Rasta, we got Montana. But the order is Montana, Rasta, and Coach Marv. So y'all hold tight. Montana, you're live from the 614. You're live.
Yo, what's going down, Law?
Nothing to it, Chief. Holler at me, man.
Man, hey, man, I got one thing to say. Listen, Brandon. Shut your behind up. We all know why you mad at Dak Prescott. I'm going to leave that for behind closed doors, bro. We all know why Dak Prescott is going with your woman, but we're going to leave that alone.
Wow.
No. Ain't no way in the world that you come on every day. You allow this man on your graceful show just so he can talk down on Dak.
Man.
I've never seen nothing like that. Something's going on over there, bro. Something is going on. Like, I've never seen it. But long story short, man, listen, I love Trayvon Diggs.
Right.
But I'm not about to sit there and overrate guys who's been doing it longer than him.
Right.
People talking about Jalen Ramsey overrated. How, bro? No, that man earned his spot. Marshawn Lattimore earned his spot.
Okay.
Denzel Ward earned their spot.
They didn't put Ward. Look, they didn't put Ward on his list, man. That's crazy, huh?
That's crazy. That man's 5'11" out there tackling Kelsey.
Right. So you think that this list was just based off of last year solely? You know, because it wasn't over total body work.
Every list we see is based off the year before.
Okay, so it's not total body of work. Well, then that makes sense. Then that makes sense.
If it was total body of work, what Dak Prescott been through, he's top 3 easily.
Yeah, you know. Well, far as I give you that. I ain't gonna argue that. You know,
he's top 3 easily. Total body of work easily. I will give Patrick Mahomes his little credit, even though I feel like he's overrated because he's never been adversity. He ain't have to deal with a Jason Garrett. He didn't have to deal with 25-yard option routes. He didn't have to deal with, oh man, we're on the brink of losing. Go ahead, Zeke, go play center. Zach Martin, go out for a 10-yard curl route.
Man, it's rough, man.
Mahomes never had to deal with that stuff.
Yeah.
But Dak Prescott do though. And he gets the offense rolling. Y'all see what the offense looked like with Cooper Rush?
Yep.
It was below standards. But as soon as he come back, we get high standards from this man.
Talk to him, man.
And y'all still disrespecting him? That's why I said I don't even really want to watch this year. Why? Because I already know.
You finna see that wee woo. You finna see that wee woo. You finna see them switching over and saying, "Yeah, man, I had that man back since day one." Watch. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yup. Watch.
I already know. Because all the disrespect that the Dallas Cowboys is getting is just lining them up.
Yep.
He's just lining the opponents up to get punched in the mouth.
Y-
That's
y-
all
y-
it's
y-
doing.
you know-
It's just lining the opponents up to get destroyed, not punched, destroyed.
You know what Dak Prescott? You know what one of Dak Prescott's biggest weakness, man, Montana?
Is he too nice?
The brother is just too nice, man. And there's nothing wrong with being meek, but come on, man.
He's a CJ Stroud. He's a CJ Stroud. Too nice.
Too nice, man. I appreciate you calling in, fam. Man, that's a good
I
call.
appreciate you allowing me to call in. Thank
Anytime,
you, Bob.
bro.
Keep
Keep
it going,
regulating,
brother.
man. That's
Much
my guy.
love.
That's my guy right there, Montana, man. I got Rasta, then I got Coach Marv, man. I see some heavy hitters in the chat, man. All right, Rasta, man, for the 757X, man, you live.
Brother Law.
What's up, brother, man? Talk to me, man.
It is real cool to get to just reach out to you, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So you seen, since you're talking about listen, you seen how they said one of the reporters put us at third for best off-season moves.
Right.
I'm wondering what your thought is on outside of D-Hop and outside of what we could have did in the draft. What you think would have put us at number one?
Off-season moves, all right. Shoot. Like, this is like only free agency, right? Not draft. Just only the free agency move, right?
Okay.
I mean,
guess that would be the case, yeah.
man, I mean, we kind of answered everything, but we have basically, we need to go get Robbie Gold. That would really put us over the top, or I ain't gonna say Mason Crosby, but I think we still need to go get a real kicker, right? We do need a kicker. The next move would be, to me, I think that they still have some reservations on the offensive line, but before they bring in new, they would like to see what they got already. Do that make any sense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I would have went with O-line. I forgot about the kicking was.
I mean, kicker gonna be really important because the dude, whatever the guy right now, Velasco, whatever his name is, he's missing kicks right now with no pressure. I'm like, dude, that's a calling card for me to go get somebody else right now.
With no win.
Right, with no win. He's inside perfect element. He's wide right. He's wide left. I'm sitting there like, I'm not at practice. I like to wait until I see it out there in Oxnard. But right now, shoot, even from my office in Dallas, I can tell them, like right now, hey, go ahead and start be looking for a kicker, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, man. I was seeing, we made such a good offensive and defensive move. Well, skill players. I would really like I mean, it's not much out there as far as free agency goes, and like I said, I forgot about the kicker. But we talking about paying these young guys, and how much winning a Super Bowl could, mess with adjust their numbers.
Right.
But I feel like not investing in the O-line, which we need our own team continuity, but I don't know if it's just infatuation with certain names and such. But I just don't have a lot of confidence in shuffling around. I know. Still, it sounds like, listening to Still and Boss, you could kind of see how maybe we should consider those first 4 games being a wash and a mix-up, and then you're going to have to account for, and this, I guess I'm being pessimistic, but those the reacclimation, the game speed for Still, and then having to reshuffle the whole line again. I think that's one of the holes that I would really like to see some kind of movement towards. But what you think?
Well, seeing Steele working the chords with Britt Brown and all of those boys that's on the rehab team, they give us a little promise, right? But ain't nothing like people diving at your knees to see whether or not you keep that same energy. So there's still a great pause for that. So now you're in a situation whereas you're really trying to see what your roster is all about on the back end for depths. And like I believe Coach Marv is going to bring this up when I bring him on the phone next. Is going to be similar to this. Who are the household names for O-line for the 49ers, right? we only know one, Trent Williams, right? So you can win games with the pieces that you got. You just got to have strategy and scheme. And I think that's going to at least put us a little bit ahead than what we were last season with strategy and scheme. We were top 10 rushing team last season without a scheme or a strategy. So we should be okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. All right, dog. Hey, bring on Coach Marv, man, and y'all watch out for the wee-woo, man.
Yes, indeed, man. Shout out to you, Roster, man. That's Brother Roster, man, X from the 757. I got Coach Marv, man, from the 803. You're live, and he finna talk about efficiency. Come on with it, Coach.
What's going on, Long?
Yes, indeed.
Long time no talk to, man. Long time no talk to. But yeah, man, efficient, man. That's my word for this year, man. Efficient.
Mm-hmm.
And details.
Details
and efficient. That's why they say they're not changing much.
Right.
They're gonna change a little concept of things, but their thing is that they're gonna tighten up on the things that we miss. They're gonna make sure that we running precise patterns. They're gonna make sure that we getting the most out of every player that's on this roster.
Yep.
That's it. And I said this last year when we talk about money.
Mm-hmm.
If you win, and you win big, a lot of people say, oh, man, that's going to push the money up.
Yep.
Right? No, not necessarily. It may push it up a little bit. But if you win in Dallas, are you going to leave if they offer you $5 or $6 million left? No. You can't find no better place that you can be there to make money for the rest of your life.
Big facts.
And if you do leave, there'll be a host of people that'll be just as good that will take that 5 or 6 less leave.
True.
So if you don't win, you're always going to be trying to stretch. But if you win in a place like Dallas, yes, you're going to pay the people well, but you have a bargaining chip because there's no bigger stage to win on.
Right.
So you're not going to go to a smaller stage when you're on that type of stage.
Big facts.
So, but it's all about winning, and it's not even worried about the contracts. I think these guys are focused on getting to their goal. I just can't wait for training camp long.
Yeah, that's when we really can just, separate what was realism and what's not. And even them, they will say, okay, we were high on this guy and he got to training camp and we realized he can't bust through a wet paper bag, right? Oh, this guy can't stay healthy. And then they have a lot of cushion. They have a $10.9 million in the kitty right now. That's a lot of cushion. You can do a lot with that money. And there will be teams that will release some of their veteran guys, and you have bigger, movements from there. So, yeah, I agree with you 1,000%, Coach.
There's no motivation right now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there'll be a motivation to sign Dak to a schedule. And I think Diggs will be first.
Okay.
I think people get this crazy. Steele will be first.
Mm-hmm.
And Diggs will probably come in the summertime. But I think people are like, well, why they didn't sign CeeDee Lamb? Why they didn't sign this extension? Well, why Lamar Chase say sign?
Yeah.
Why is Joe Burrow still not signing no extension?
Yeah.
Don't we know he's going to be? Teams are going to take these 5th-year options,
and
they're going to go to the 5th year. If that was the case, you would see a lot of people sign their guys 2-3 years early. That's not going to happen. They're going to take it. Their agents know that they're going to drag it out. Some of you may get 1 year early, but not no 2 or 3 years early. Because remember, extensions don't start till the first contract is over. So you don't really like to do that type of stuff because it's going to start a couple years down the line. And a lot of things can happen in this crazy thing called football.
Yep.
So you really try to get it close to the time that you really need to do that because if you invest too fast in this game, you're cheating the thing of injury. You cannot play and say, oh, we know a guy's going to be around for 3 or 4 years.
Big facts.
You can't do that because this is football is a much more dangerous sport than anything else. So that's why that kind of thing will go to the. So they're in a place where Diggs get first. Then after Diggs come Lamb. Then after Lamb comes Parsons.
No doubt, Coach Marv.
So that's how it's going to be, man. But Law, I cannot wait for training camp. The training camp will the grass is always what tells the story.
Man, good call from Coach Marv, man. That grass, that grass would determine a whole lot. Appreciate y'all, man. That's Coach Marv, man. Put your hands together for Coach Marv, man. Let's go through these callers, man. I got my guy, the man with the plan. Not $1,000 not 50 grand, but I got a guy that's 100 grand. And hey, in a few days, man, and I guess almost in a week.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, but I'm talking about when it's all said and done, you might feel like 100 million, man. You know what I'm saying? If it's all said and done, man, you know. But I know you were sweating just a little bit, though. Yeah, I mean, you were sweating just a little bit. You were like, man, oh my gosh, man. Yes, indeed, you know. Them Jalen's about to get you. Them Jalen's and Jason's about to get you, man.
I was nervous.
Okay.
I was nervous. But when Coach Spo came out in that press conference, Game 6, and he said, we'll tip it off right now if we can. We want to go back and tip that thing off right now. I said, all right, Coach, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready for Game 7. That hyped me up, man. That made me want to go through a wall. He said, we'll tip it up right now.
Right.
That gave me I told everybody, I said, listen, we going to blow them boys out Game 7. Everybody, you a fool. What you talking about? Y'all not going to do that. Y'all, blah, 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 blah. I said, we going to blow them boys out Game 7. And everybody called me, man, yo, why? How you know? I said, listen, heat culture, baby. That's how, listen, when our backs is up against the wall, that's when we rise up and shine, man.
Man, that's when y'all bring out the heat, man. So, I mean, you got Nicola, you got some guys, Murray, you got the other kid, man.
Hero coming back.
Yeah. So you got to go up against a whole bunch of. You got to go to the elements too, man. Denver ain't nowhere nice to play, man. So, but you know,
it ain't. It's not. I'm being honest here.
Yep.
I'm not expecting for us to come out here and win Game 1. We might even get blown out. Want to know why? Because we had a tough, hard series.
Yeah.
Now you got to go up to Denver and play them boys, and them boys is rested, and that altitude ain't nothing to play with.
No. But see, you might have the mindset, but when there's heat, there's fire, and when there's fire, there's smoke, and when smoke, what's gonna do? It's gonna rise to the top. It might choke out the Denver Nuggets, man. Come on, man.
Listen. Hold on now. Hold on. Sometimes you gotta take the L. To make you more prepared for the test so that you can pass it.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? So by us taking that L.
By you taking that L, okay.
That's going to propel us to winning the championship, Lord. Don't miss the message, man.
Okay, all right, I see you, man. All right, I see you. So my Lakers took the L, and then they took another L, then they took another L, but they tried to get the message, but they couldn't, and then they brought out the broom.
I don't know about your Lakers, man. You know what I mean? Y'all need to trade some people. Anthony Davis need to get some milk. You know what I mean? I don't know. Well, I mean, but I'm telling you, as far as heat culture, man, every time we get knocked out, you know Spo is one of the best coaches in the NBA.
Right.
He makes adjustments.
Yeah.
He makes adjustments. So we need that first game to kind of figure some things out so we can come back, make these adjustments, and tear them boys apart. You see what I'm saying? Because Spo knows how to use his players' strengths. And just bring it back to football.
Man.
Just like Dan Quinn. He know how, you know what I'm saying? If you look at the Heat and look at Spo, he's just like Dan Quinn and using them boys to their strengths.
Okay, all right.
You see what I'm saying?
I see you now.
So I ain't worried about losing Game 1. But Jimmy Bucket's going to lift up that Lombardi, man. I'm telling you right now.
Okay. So he gonna lift up the NBA trophy. What's the NBA trophy called? I know it's not called. No. NBA trophy.
I don't know.
What's the NBA? What's the dang old NBA trophy?
They done changed it again. You know they keep changing the names of the trophies, man. I don't get it. but he gonna get him a title.
He gonna lift up and he gonna have a ring and a banner falling out of the sky. Come on, yes indeed.
Sir. Yes, sir.
So what you got for the Cowboys, man?
That's
The Larry O'Brien. That's what it is. Larry O'Brien.
Larry
Yeah.
O'Brien trophy. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
yeah, we did you a favor so you wouldn't see them Celtics. You wouldn't have to panic and stress out.
Hey, that is a huge favor, man. Shout out to all of the Celtic Cowboy fans, though. But but y'all got to be with me on this one, though. You know, come on, man. Yes, indeed, man.
But you know, speaking of that, I think Dan Quinn rubbed off on Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
Because that's how he's trying to build his offense and trying to do the same thing with this offense that Dan Quinn been doing with this defense for 2 years.
Right.
So that's a plus for us.
All day,
and
man.
as far as as far as the money and why people ain't get paid, come on, man. You know who's in our come on, Brandon. You know who's in our front office.
Yeah.
Stephen Jones, come on, man.
I mean, I think
Stephen Jones wouldn't even. He ain't paying nobody.
he still got his third grade money, man. He made his son go to JUCO. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I don't think you can go to Arkansas. You gonna have to go to the junior college, and then work your way from there. Yeah. You see, first I started off by washing lettuce,
Right.
Yes,
right.
indeed.
So stop trying to use that to propel your fake argument that Dak Prescott is trash or why this person didn't get paid and why Dak didn't get, because we got Stephen Jones. And Stephen Jones and the Joneses, they want to feel like they won everything. And if they don't feel like that, and if they feel like they got taken, they're not going to make the deal.
Yep.
They're not going to do it. So that's irrelevant.
No doubt.
That's irrelevant, man. I mean, unfortunately, everybody's not going to get paid, and that's another reason why Dak Prescott has to work hard, because the front office is not doing their best to keep the great guys around him to propel him while these other teams is doing that. Look,
Man, it's too much like right, man. Just go ahead and extend that, man.
Yeah, you might as well go ahead and extend him so we can keep this core together.
Mm.
But he's not going to. When you're dealing with a front office that all they want to do is cut corners, but expect you to keep rising and keep rising and keep rising your play instead of saying, you know what? Instead of us having you to keep rising your play,
right?
Let me keep putting talent around you so it can make it easier for you, man. Come on, man. Could you imagine how many Super Bowls we probably could have won if that was the mantra?
Man. I mean, shoot.
But the Brandons of the world, they don't want to look at it. They just look at the stat line. Dak Prescott can have a great game, but he Skip Bayless this thing in the fourth quarter. He threw the wrong pass that way, so he's trash.
It's equivalent, and I'm not saying that Dak Prescott is of this level, right? It's the equivalent of saying that MJ, he don't need any help. He was 1-9 in the playoffs, before they had to make some changes. And me, I ain't that big of a Bulls guy, but we all know that it took a team for him to win the ring. You know what I'm saying? It took pieces and parts around him. If not, he would have been 1 for 30 in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it is what it is.
And it goes back to that argument. I know, Law, you ain't comparing Dak Prescott to Patrick Mahomes, Law, and Patrick Mahomes, Law. Take Patrick Mahomes and put Patrick Mahomes in a Cowboy uniform. Does Patrick Mahomes have the rings that he have now? He won't answer that question. He won't answer. Oh, we don't want to deal with hypotheticals. That's what he'll say. That's what Brandon will say.
Did you see the 6-hour episode I did last night with the round table? Yeah. It's the same type of argument, man. The only way we can get away from this is, and Louis T was right. You can't win against the Eagles in that debate because they're gonna forever move the goalposts. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how it goes. So hopefully, man, this year we got to do what they did. But when?
As soon as we win, it takes that argument away. Just like they say against us, we can't never say you ain't got no ring. And Everton, when they won that Super Bowl, they so happy. You can't use that argument no more.
You know what? You know what? You know what? 100 grand though. Before I let you go, we've been hearing that energy with them before 2017. They act like that's all they've been saying that in 2005, 2006, 8. You know what I'm saying? We just haven't been on YouTube. But I remember Eagles fans talking about X, Y, and Z of how long it been since we've been there. They've been there, blah, blah, blah.
No,
right?
No, you're not getting what I'm saying. Remember, our rebuttal was, you're the only team in the NFC East that don't got a ring.
Right.
And and that's our go-to, right? So the minute they won that Super Bowl, we can't use that no more.
True.
They're happy. So they're burying the fact that y'all ain't winning no ring. The same way we buried the fact that they was linked, that they was ringless.
True.
So the minute we win a ring, though, they have no argument.
None.
Nothing to say.
None.
They have no rebuttals. They got nothing to say. They're gonna go and say, they got nothing.
Maybe they'll start picking on the Giants. You know, they reverse order. You know, they pick on the team that's at the top. You know, so maybe when we win our next, that's what it is. You know,
they're gonna go down in their hole, and they're gonna pick on the Giants, or they're gonna pick on Washington because they can't pick at us because we'll have 6.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you 100 grand. Let people know where they can find and follow you at, man.
Hey, man, you guys can find me at Graphic Zone HD on Twitter and Instagram. That's Graphic Zone HD.
Man.
For all your graphic needs.
Man, y'all check him out, man. That's my dog right there, man. Graphic Zone HD. I'm pulling it up on the screen right now, man. Appreciate you, fam. Yes, indeed.
Go Heat.
Go Heat. Yeah. You see, he put a little reverse psychology. You see what he did here? He created a leprechaun. You know what I'm saying? And I guess this was against the, dare I say, Celtics, and they end up winning. So that's reverse psychology. But he got some great work, man. This is some of his work right here. You see his work is just impeccable, man. Second to none over here. I like what he do. He even do Graphic Zone information for my guy, my big dog, Vaj Lombardi. I mean, he does it all over here, man. That's a real dope one right there. That's a real dope one. All right, I got Jake the Great, and then I got Mark that drive trucks. Come on, fam, you live, man, from the 561.
Nah, this ain't Art, man. This is Jake the Great.
Yeah, I said Jake the Great. I said we got Jake the Great live from the 561, but I was saying this is some nice art from Trayvon Diggs from Graphic Zone HD. I got your name straight, man. You know, I won't shank you with the butter knife. Come on, man. You know, I give you a nice intro, man. Come on.
Right. Hey, man, shout out to Brandon, man. Hey, Brandon been standing on that hill for about the last 5-6 years, bro.
Yeah.
When I hear Brandon, I hear the prosecution. It's like, Your Honor, Dak Prescott is guilty.
Yeah.
Right when the courtroom opened up and they started putting out Exhibit A, Exhibit B, then the law was like, objection, Your Honor.
Objection, you know. Every time, man. He's gonna be that for the rest of his life, man. I get it. I got an uncle that's like that. You know what I'm saying? And they'll root for the team, but they'll break the team down to the nanosecond. You know what I'm saying? Or to like the quantum realm, they'll break it all the way down.
Well, sometimes he's talking, man. I'm in the jury. I'm like, man, I ain't gonna lie. Maybe Dak Prescott is guilty. I remember that soliloquy. He went on when the season ended. I'm like, oh, Lord, here it comes, boy. He let everybody have it. So, boy, listen, we can't talk against Brandon right now because Brandon the only one standing up. We lost in the playoffs, and he called it. But, you know, he did bless us, said we're going to win the Super Bowl this year. So, you know what I'm saying? We can take him out the dark side and bring him to the light. But check me out, though, Law. On Dak Prescott's extension, right?
Talk to me.
I understand it's the right thing to do, right? But could you imagine what the 4-letter networks would do if we gave Dak Prescott an extension after he threw 17 interceptions? Could you imagine? Oh, they would rip us apart all offseason long. We'd just be throwing gas to the fire. Is Dak Prescott worth his extension? They don't care about the 12-5. They're gonna be saying the man threw 17 interceptions or 15. I wasn't counting, but
Man,
you know what I'm saying? Could you
man, and Coming to America is a real good movie, right? At the end, the queen was like, well, you really the king. You set the rules, right? Because he was supposed to go marry another girl, they said, jump on one foot, hop like a dog, bark like a dog, blah, blah, blah. So if he's the king, then he make the decision. Meaning that if Jerry Jones really wants something, he would go out there and get it. So if he really want to extend Dak Prescott, then he would do it. I've literally seen that we went 8-8, 8-8, 8-8, and then the Cowboys gave that massive contract to, dare I say, Tony Romo. Wasn't no eyes batted, you know what I'm saying? Wasn't no hesitation for the nation. They extended him, and the Ravens did the exact opposite. They said, okay, Joe Flacco, if you saying that you want to get that type of money, prove it. And he ultimately won the Super Bowl and got that money, right? So there's two ways you can look at it. One team didn't believe in their quarterback, and he absolutely won it, right? The other team ultimately believed in their quarterback, gave him a long contract, still didn't put weapons around him enough, but it goes to show how you manage your books and how you manage the money that you got. The craziest thing of it all teams got the same amount of money. That's supposed to create the parity in the league, right? Everybody got the same amount of money. It's what you do with it. It's how you extend it. It's how you navigate and maneuver the money around.
Facts. So you're saying now, now we're putting Dak on this prove-it deal. So you're saying if he goes out and he wins the chip this year, what do you think his annual base pay would be? You think it'll be around like the 50s and 60s? Is that what you're saying?
Man, it's going to be in the 60s, man. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be right around at 55, high 55, close to 60. If he win the Super Bowl without extending him, and it would be whatever Joe Burrows, Herb, you know what I'm saying, and all of those boys getting. And I'm quite sure there's people right now in the chat, shoot, we win a Super Bowl with Dak with it before they extend him. Somebody, even Dak hater, even Brandon will call in and say, give him 70, you know. Yeah, that man 80, man. Shoot, we won a Super Bowl.
That's all I got, man. I'm gonna let the other callers come in. Hey, great show as always. Hey, y'all be nice to Kelvin Joseph this afternoon, man. I don't want to see y'all talking that nonsense, so don't scare the man off.
Man.
From the trap house now.
Hey, it's gonna be them. I just be an ancillary piece, man. I just call in, man. But I appreciate you, fam. Thank you for calling.
All right, great show, man.
No doubt, man. Yeah. So y'all get how that goes, man. I got Mark that drive trucks, man, from the 832. You're live.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How you doing, Law? How you doing?
Hey, man, all is well, fam. Can't complain. Can't complain, bro.
I'm here with you, man. Hey, look, your man said it best. Stephen Jones is cheap and he's tight. But what I'm hoping happen with all this, the folks, you need to pay Diggs. To me, you need to pay Diggs. You need to pay CD. You need to pay Micah, and you need to pay Dak.
Right.
And you can't tell me in this world or the next that you can't pay all four of them cash. You can't. That's your base. That's your core. And we're gonna find out just how much stroke Dan Quinn got in that room because he got some.
Well,
they doing stuff on that defensive end that they never would have done unless somebody stood up on the table and produced. And that's what Dan Quinn has done, and he's produced. So they signing dudes in the off season that they usually don't sign. They drafting defensive tackles when they don't draft no nose guys. So I see Dan Quinn say, "Hey, look, pay Diggs, they gonna pay."
Yeah.
And they need to pay Diggs. Ain't nothing wrong with that boy, except people thinking something wrong with him. Ain't nothing wrong with him.
Hey, come on.
You ain't gonna find nobody better than him. You ain't gonna find nobody better than him. Pay him.
Pay that man.
Fix the money up, pay him. You got money coming. You got to pay Michael. Pay Michael. Michael gonna ask for 30, and he gonna get it. Pay Michael, pay CD, and extend that. And you get all this other nonsense out the way.
Just rip the Band-Aid off, man. Rip the Band-Aid off and get it done. I've literally seen the market is a forever growing market. I've seen a good friend of mine get pre-approved for a house and got all of his paperwork, got everything going. It was $580,000 in Dallas, right? But in less than 6 months, he was waiting to get everything finalized. That house went from $585,000 to $800,000. You see what I'm saying? You know, it's just how fast the market moved, man. You know, so the market gonna be like, hey man, we'll still give it to you at $585. You know, no, $800. 800 there for that community.
Exactly. That is the one you work on and you get that out the way because you can stretch that money out the longest to me.
Right.
Because again, if you mess around and you let Joe Burrow come in here, Joe Burrow gonna get three. He's gonna get three large. They're gonna get because he done done something Cincinnati ain't done in 25, 26, 30 years. Went to a Super Bowl. They're gonna get that boy anything he wants. If he say he wants 40. If he want Patrick Mahomes contract, he gonna get it.
He gonna get it, right? He can say, "I beat Mahomes." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. If you talking about the market and the Jones is supposed to be about this money in their paper, you know where that's going. You mess around and let Mahomes and let that boy get signed because you did that with Dak once. You played games with him, played chicken and all of that stuff, and you wound up paying him more than you thought you should have. All that nonsense. Dak done blow that contract out the water. He done more than earned that money, but. The way you built your team, when you got your franchise quarterback, and he's still in his prime, get him on long term, so you can spread his money out over a lot of years. Then you can get these other cats that probably gonna turn over. You ain't finna give Micah no more than a 5-year deal. You're gonna get Diggs a 4-5-year deal.
Yeah,
that deal, can undergird them cats. You
and Micah Parsons, he's getting QB money though. You know, they said Quentin Williams. Quentin Williams right now he's looking at for the Jets. He's getting paid $9.9 million or something like that APY, and he's looking at it like, shoot, everybody else getting 22, and the highest interior defensive guy is getting 30, right? So, and I'm talking about from a defensive perspective. Quentin Williams sitting there saying he's willing to hold out until they make some ends meets around here and give that man anywhere between $22 to $25 million. But he want Aaron Donald's money, even though he's not Aaron Donald. Quentin Williams had 12 sacks from the inside. So now we're talking about edge guys, right? Michael Parsons he's going to decree quarterback money almost. Well, old school quarterback money now, you know.
And don't let him get no awards. Don't let him get no DPOY award or nothing like that. Don't let him lead the league in sacks or nothing like that. Because he's going to ask the crazy money, he's going to get every dime of it.
Right.
But having said all of that, the Joneses ought to have learned one damn thing by now if they ain't learned nothing else. Hey, look, man, now ain't the time to be cheap.
Right.
You had, like you just said, you ain't had no problem paying Tony Romo when Romo wasn't doing nothing, and we all know kind of the back history story on that. Most of that wasn't Tony Romo's fault, but some of it was.
Right.
But
especially,
you had no problem gambling, taking a chance on Romo, because you knew what you didn't have before.
Yeah.
You got a whole hell of a lot better now with that and people around him. It's at least you're not going to invest in the players, invest in the coaches. If the coaches want to keep people, and you can see if they can put a team together around your players, man, listen to them. Because I'm telling you, if Dan Quinn say pay Diggs, he's going to get paid.
Yep. Man.
If Mike McCarthy go in there and say, hey, look, man, what y'all waiting on? Get back his money so I can go win this damn thing. Because McCarthy ain't coaching for his job this year or the next one. Ain't nobody on McCarthy for damn sure ain't on no bubble. He done too much right around here. I don't care what nobody say. So if they ain't going to extend that, that's a whole other conversation. McCarthy ain't on no bubble. But if he go in there, especially if they go in here and they act a fool this year and they beat people head in, and at least they get to the NFC Championship game, Mike Carter, hey man, give Dak his money and stop messing around. So we can go get this shit and go get 2 or 3 of them while the boys get good. Because Dak's good enough to go and get it. If we don't do stupid stuff like we've been doing 6, 7, 8 years, this boy go and get it. Dak is, like my uncle used to say, sometimes, boy, you be around men, then sometimes, boy, it's a man amongst men. And that's what Dak is. He a man amongst men.
No doubt, man. You spitting some good stuff, man.
And you get that took care of. But I appreciate you taking my call. I'll go ahead and have your business, my friend.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you, man. And drive safely out there, man. Salute, bro. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It's a good call from him, man.
Goodbye.
And as they say, man, we should be thinking big, not small. You know.
You think it's small. We need to be thinking big. You need to be thinking big. You need to be thinking big.
Who remember that dude, man? So we need to be thinking big, man. You know what I'm saying? Because currently, we got to be thinking big, man. You know.
You think it's small. We need to be thinking big. You need to be thinking big. You need to be thinking big. Think big.
He ain't lying, though, so we got to think big, man. I'll never forget this storyline of Joel Osteen. I was listening to one of his messages on his podcast, and he was basically saying that he had a vision of buying a certain land, and it could have been the actual place where he preached at, but at the time, it was so big. It was so big because of the debt and the money that they would have to spend. So he had a press conference or a conference to fly out there to New York. But on his way to the airport, he was thinking about the big ideal, the big plan, the big reasons to go out there and spend the money and how intimidating it was. But when he got on the plane and he started flying to New York, he looked out the window, and what was considered big to him became small because he was such a high elevation by being on the plane that he realized that what may be big to us is small to the Creator. And what I'm telling you guys right now, if you have your mind set straight up for big things, and you may say that, man, your dreams, your goals, it may be so big that it may feel that it's unattainable, right? That you can't get it, that you can't receive it because it's something that you're asking for is just too big. It's too wide. Yeah, that what Beyonce said. He got a big ego, right? It's too big. It's too wide. Pause. But what I'm saying is, to the grand Creator, it's small. It ain't that big. It's not that wide. I've seen some people say in the comment box when I posted a highlight of Deion Primetime Sanders, and they were saying that, hey, you must be foolish, man, to think that God cares about that thing called a highlight by Deion Sanders falling to his knees and thanking the Creator. You think that God appreciate that? And I'm saying yes, because it said acknowledge him in all thy ways and he shall direct your path, right? Include him in everything, even in the small victories, because they may just be big to him. Knowing something that you love, that you fight for, that you really will go out there and say, I will give it all. Ask and you shall receive, right? Even it said he would take the foolish thing to confound the wise. Ro, you know what I'm saying? He would take those things that you may think that are foolish and present it in a whole different way to expound your knowledge to life, to expound your reasonings to being here. So even when that dude that said that you got to be thinking big,
You think it's small. We need to be thinking big. You need to be thinking big. You need to be thinking big. Think big.
So you got to start reframing your mind. You got to start putting things in the right situations, Cowboy Nation. So last year, wide receiver core, we won 12 games. This year, wide receiver core, by the natural state, organically speaking, we thinking big that this wide receiver core is better, even if it is a sheet of paper. I don't know about you all, but I'm going to tell you guys from my mouth to your ears that's listening right now that Brandon Cooks, he's better than James Washington, right? And we hope that my guy Micah Gallup will be a whole lot better than what he was last season. Excuse me, he wasn't working out at OTAs and training camp around this time for your mind last season. Let me know if I'm wrong with that. And now he's out there. See, a lot of things can work in good ways, right? Appreciate you so much, A-Roll. He says, nah, lost me on this one, Law. Well, hey, keep seeking and keep growing and keep finding. Keep looking for the truth. And if you can't find it here, find it somewhere else. And come back to me, because blessings is here. Faith and fortune is here. Because if I was anything of a smaller degree, I wouldn't grow. You see, because I'm growing because blessings from the grand creator is here. And that's why the blessings is falling upon me, and I'm giving it back to you all in multiples of return. So now you can catch that, and you won't be lost, because I got nothing but light here. And for those who watching right now, they can get some of this good stuff, because they already know that Law is over here delivering the message. And listen up one more time, and then you will find your way.
You think it's small.
You think it's small.
You need to be thinking big.
Come on.
You need to be thinking big. You need to be thinking big. Think big.
So think big, A-Roll. And that's been my time. But I want you guys to leave out with this message. Write this down. If you want a thing bad enough to go out there and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep, if all of your desires of your mind work together, if dogged and grim and besieged and beset with the help of Almighty, woo, you will get it, Cowboy Nation. Stand tall, don't fall. And if you do fall, try to land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up, baby. And that's the truth. Yes, indeed, baby. Boy, I'm going into a next gear, but I'm going to stop right here, because I don't want to give y'all too much. I don't want to outspeak my wisdom teeth. Let's go. Damn. Let those who have ears hear, baby.
Whoa! Give me my theme music.
Come on. Come on. Hey. Imitated but never duplicated, baby. Now roll those credits. Come on. And the message, if it don't fit you, it will hit you 10 to 20 years from now, if the grand creator allow you to live that long. Come on, baby. I just want to run it up, baby. Don't need no deals, I make the deal. Have to take it to a meal. Uncle Charles. Come on. Hey. Come on. Shout out to you, Jay. SoCal. Shout out to you. So over it. So over it. Appreciate you, Patrice. Appreciate you, Scorpio. Herbert Sweat. Appreciate you. Michael Say. Come on. Hey. Shout out to my TikTok squad, man. Appreciate y'all for being live over there, baby. Jonathan, appreciate you. Thompson, appreciate you. Shooter Aces, appreciate you. Sadiq, David Woods, appreciate you. Come on. About loyalty, baby. Peace. I mix Nike with designer, I experiment. Come on. You just rock what's on the shelf and I'm not feeling it. Hey. Search for the one, but baby girl, it's nothing real as this. What we tell her one more time for your mind? I've been really in the field. Come on. Shout out to you, Sadiq. Brandy, appreciate you. Shout out to you. I got your message on the IG. Come on, I see you out there in Oxnard, Brandy. Patrice, appreciate you. We gonna get that hat mailed out. It's gonna be back to my location. Shout out to you, JCJ. Appreciate you, Cowboy Black Lion. Appreciate you. Come on. Appreciate you. Perry Lock, baby. Prepare for glory. No doubt. Hey. Oh, you thought I was over with? You thought I was over with? Come on, baby. One more time.
The answer, I talk stuff. I thought we had it.
Matt Batten, appreciate you.
Team, and I'm sticking Cowboys.
Stupid.
You're crying. I'm hurt. I love my Eagles. I don't believe it.
You gonna flap the hat one more time for the Eagles?
Just one more time.
Let's go, birds fly, Eagles fly. Still Super Bowl.
Long, that's getting too old for this, Long. Please stop it, Long. Hey, man, why you still alive talking about them? Man, they must live rent-free in your head.
Shame. Shame.
All right, man. Appreciate
Shame.
y'all, man. If I offended anyone, charge it to my head, not my heart. Let's continue to grind and shine. Baby, we up out. Let's go.
FBI, open up! The thing is this, bitch, you think it's small. We need to be thinking big. Small. We need to be thinking big. You need to be thinking big. You need to be thinking big.
When you pray for rain, you got to deal with the mud too.
You have to be your biggest fan. And when things are really tough and they're really rough and nothing's working, but there's something inside of you that says, I just have to follow that. Because you don't know who